right now. So the theme for today is breaking barriers, empowering student success in the digital age. I hope you can be able to hear me. If you can't be able to hear me, please just raise your hand so that I can be able to respond. My name is Barbara Munyando. I'm part of the Special Programs Committee at ISACA. I work at Seriano Limited as the lead researcher and development engineer, where we develop cybersecurity products. I'll be your moderator for today, and if you have any issues, please be able to add that on the chat. Just give me a few minutes. Just give me a second so that I can be able to change. Sorry for that. So I'll be a moderator for today. I think in terms of the agenda for this, I'll start with the introductions of the ISACA team, where we have Preston Odera, who's the CEO of ISACA Kenya, who's here. I'll be able to give him some time to be able to just welcome us and also be able to give us a few highlights about ISACA. Then we have Anthony Muiro, who's the president for ISACA Kenya. We also have Mercy Omolo, who's the vice president for ISACA Kenya, who will be giving us will be welcoming us to this and also be able to give us a few insights about ISACA. I'll be able to share a video in a few minutes. Sorry that you cannot be able to see me right now. Then we'll also have our speakers for today. This is Stuart Samkange from LinkedIn. Then also Lillian Gala. I'll be giving a profile of them in a few minutes when we get to the point where we are starting the talk. Then afterwards, we'll be able to now have a few questions from everyone and be able to just get insights on answers that you might want in terms of ISACA, so that you can be able to get to a level you can be able to understand what we offer and how that can be able to help you. So we'll be starting at 11. We'll start with the anthem. Then we can now have a session with the CEO for ISACA Kenya. So let me just share my screen, then we can be able to start.
ISACA, baby, yeah, that's the anthem. Get your hands up. Hey, hey, yeah. Listen close as I tell you all the tale. How ISACA got your boy ready to prevail. I always had a feeling that my future was bright. And thanks to ISACA, yes sir, I'm prepped for the fight. My path wasn't clear for careers, what would I do? Had a good eye for tech since a foot high. Challenges are a must, that's how my brain works. Almost stymied till I try better frameworks. What new career will I choose to make a difference? Cybercrime, risk, and audit amongst my interests. Pen testing, beyond me, it ain't a question. I need to find a mentor, distributing a lesson, or even reinforce what I already knew. Change my life for the better, they can do it for you. From System to Seagate and IT's D-Light, now my future's got the green light. ISACA, pursuing digital trust. ISACA, when progression's a must. ISACA, realize my purpose and promise. And if I can be honest, a new era's upon us. ISACA, pursuing digital trust. ISACA, when progression's a must. ISACA, realize my purpose and promise. And if I can be honest, a new era's upon us. Scissor, gain the knowledge, use the order control. Monitor the data flow, then assess what's known. Take that info and use it to improve and hone. Only the first cert, but I'm feeling right in the zone. Next up looks like C-Risk. I really want to see this. Train so I can see risk in enterprise arenas where others can't see it. Don't focus on the surface, but what's beneath it. Reaching the next certain sequence. SISM an acronym and mechanism for a managerial application of synergism through program development, security, and governance. Skills hiring companies covered. Better come with it. Seagate, earn my nose with knowledge and the foresight. Designing, implementing, and setting the course right. This is for executives and experts, but I know ISACA can help you if you put in the work. ISACA, pursuing digital trust. ISACA, when progression's a must. ISACA, realize my purpose and promise. And if I can be honest, a new era's upon us. ISACA, pursuing digital trust. ISACA, when progression's a must. ISACA, realize my purpose and promise. And if I can be honest, a new era's upon us. Yo, now that I got what I need, I'm like a new soul. No more cruise control, it's beast mode. When I started at bronze, made sure that I reviewed. Studied hard in my field, make sure that I renewed. Now I'm iller at silver. I stand and deliver. My certs are arrows in my knowledge quiver. A sliver of time and I'm at gold. Take hold of the controls and there isn't any maximum. Even after platinum, I won't stop the stratagem. I made it this far. From a new member to the latest IT star. For real. I know I didn't rise alone. Props to ISACA for helping me reach the throne. Employers worldwide impressed with what I've shown. With a network of hundreds of thousands across the globe. But yo, I'll never forget ISACA for the dream. I contribute for life, forever part of the team. ISACA, pursuing digital trust. ISACA, when progression's a must. ISACA, realize my purpose and promise. And if I can be honest, a new era's upon us. ISACA, pursuing digital trust. ISACA, when progression's a must. ISACA, realize my purpose and promise. And if I can be honest, a new era's upon us. ISACA.
I hope you enjoyed the video. That's just an anthem for ISACA and just a summary of the certifications that we offer. We'll move to the next stage where I'd like to invite Preston Odera to be able to just give us a summary of ISACA and what we actually offer. Preston, are you available?
Thank you. Thank you, Barbara, and thank you all, those who have attended and those who are coming. My name is Preston Odera. I'm the CEO of the ISACA Kenya chapter. So I welcome you for this for this talk, which is Breaking Barriers, Empowering Student Success in the Digital Age. The chapter, ISACA Kenya chapter, was started way back in '99 and has grown now. 10 people started it. Now we are over 1,500. At the time of start, we had only one certification. And now we have quite a number of certifications. And for this event, we are focusing on students because there are new certifications that are coming, which we feel are highly relevant for students as they finish their college degrees, so that when they could have cleared some of those papers before coming out, then they can get certified and might find that it is easier to secure jobs or to secure opportunities outside. As the president and the vice president will explain more on the organization of the chapter, as the CEO, may I run the secretariat on behalf of the board. The board are 9 members, the secretariat are now 6, where we We help run the events for the chapter, the conferences, the trainings, and the trainings that we organize, and also these kind of talks. So we do all that on behalf of the board. But my message, particularly to students, is that two new certifications which are really relevant for you, which I would like you to really take note of, are Certified in Emerging Technologies, CET. On this, which is quite relevant, you have the cloud computing, one component, blockchain, you have Internet of Things and artificial intelligence. These are taken as certificates on their own. And immediately you finish those 4 certificates, then you can apply for certification on that as certified in emerging technology. And you'll see that these are quite relevant as you're in the university, you are covering cloud computing, you are covering blockchain, you are covering Internet of Things and artificial intelligence. So if you can start looking at these certificates and try and clear them early, it will be better for your success in future. Another one, which is Information Technology Certified Associate, has 5 components, 5 certificates which you can look at. That is computing fundamentals, network infrastructure fundamentals, cybersecurity fundamentals, software development fundamentals, and data science fundamentals. What I've seen as a chapter, and I'm talking about Kenya chapter, is that when cybersecurity fundamentals was introduced, we had a number that did that certificate. After that, I don't see anyone moving ahead after these other certificates have been introduced. And it will be a good idea for students to start looking at that. Currently in the chapter, we only have those who have cybersecurity fundamentals, but we would like to see the students joining us to look at all the others, complete them, and apply for this certification on Information Technology Certified as Associates, as well as that one which I talked about earlier, the Certified in Emerging Technologies. And you can check at the ISACA website and get more details about that. ISACA will also offer you an engaged online platform. This is the way which will help you to learn, to network, and to participate at the global level, at the chapter level. So as students, we want you to engage and be informed that you can also start student groups at your universities. And I think as we go on, more will be discussed on this. But for now, I'll leave it at that, and back to you, Barbara.
Thank you, Preston. Thank you. Yes, based on what Preston has been able to highlight, I think key areas that you need to maybe note is that what ISACA is going to offer you is, you're looking at items that ISACA is going to offer you. So that's based on focusing on digital literacy. Those are questions that you're asking, what skills do you need? In terms of mentorship, you're looking at what guidance can you get from ISACA? In terms of resources, you're looking at what information can I be able to get from ISACA. Then in terms of communities, I think Preston has been able to highlight on the Engage online platform. In terms of what digital spaces can I be able to use to be able to connect with people within the industry, and also be able to innovate with, we can be able to raise anything in terms of innovation, so that at the end of the day, we're also growing ourselves. He's also been able to mention in terms of artificial intelligence and also introduction to cybersecurity certifications that can help you in terms of digital literacy. For the next session will be Mercy Omolo. She's the Vice President for ISACA Kenya chapter. I think Mercy, if you're ready, you can be able to just give us an overview of ISACA and also what you do.
Thanks, Barbara. Before I speak, allow Anthony to speak. Anthony Miro is our president, and I think he's on the call, and then I'll cap it off.
Okay, that is fine. So let me welcome Anthony Miro, the president for ISACA Kenya chapter.
All right, so Good morning, everyone. I see my video is not enabled, so maybe I can help me on this. So glad to be here. I'd like to welcome everyone on the call. We are delighted as a chapter to finally host this session, where for us, and the whole idea and the vision was to connect with particularly our student body. Now, when we look back as a chapter, we see that the potential and what the future of the chapter and where we are pretty going as an industry is that the future is on with the next generation. And for us, we are delighted just to have this opportunity, just to have this very candid conversations that can also help you position yourself. So my name, as you've heard, Anthony Muyoro is my name, President of ISACA Kenya chapter. I'm privileged to serve ISACA, serving as a president, leading the board. Preston mentioned we have 9 board members, and we also have a secretariat team, 6 of them that support us. And also we have committees that even help us drive this agenda. So who are we as ISACA? As a chapter, we're in the business of developing talent and credentializing professionals in the marketplace. And the areas of focus that we look at, and I'm sure we've all been able just to have an understanding of some of the things that we are pretty much niched and focused on. This ideally will span from cybersecurity, IT audit, and then of course, looking at areas such as data privacy and even emerging technology. Now, the forum that we're having today is pretty much to enable you and position you for the future. And that is why we've come up with and we've put together this excellent program and with thought leaders, people who are pretty much very vast, very knowledgeable, and pretty much well positioned to share insights in terms of how then can you make yourself not only marketable, but can you also make yourself future relevant. Now, my charge to you as students, and I know we have a mixture of audience, 3 things I'd like you to pretty much have in mind. And this is a point where my encouragement is have an open mind. A lot of information will be shared here. And the question you should answer is this: how can I take advantage of what's going to be shared so that you can also give yourself a head start? We live in a highly competitive dispensation where you have to be extra for you to get extra. So 3 things I'd like to charge you with. First of all is the growth mindset. What is the growth mindset? And this is basically thinking of yourself as someone who's always growing. That any information that comes to you is shared, or you get access, or you encounter, is supposed to help you grow. But again, the only thing that can limit you is your mindset. So you need to look at yourself as a growing person, that you need to understand and really position yourself with the right mentality so that you can be enabled for the future. The second thing is agility. And agility, in my view, I always look at it as the ability to unlearn certain things so that you can relearn things that are going to help you in the future. Again, we're in a very dynamic space, particularly in technology. So much is happening. So you really need to be agile enough to see what are some of the things that you need to enable yourself so that now you're future relevant. And this is what we call the art of the possible. And the last one is guidance. And by guidance is access to relevant mentorship and people who are going to help you. As a chapter, and even as ISACA Global, we've been able just to build a very rich network of professionals. I am a testament of what networking and effective mentorship can do. And I'd like to encourage you, beyond this session, please reach out to even individuals who you pretty much admire, possibly are ahead of you, and let them also guide you, because mentorship is extremely, extremely powerful. And we encourage students to even join the chapter because we give you access to well-established, professionals who've done amazing things. And the best gift they can give to you is access to information, access to content, and even access to other networks. So as you listen to what's going to be shared today by our amazing thought leaders, please have the 3 things that I've mentioned in mind. And we're always happy just to help you because, of course, like even Preston has mentioned, we have very good certifications that we've curated, particularly for this new generation and next generation of professionals. And we've taken upon ourselves just to guide, mentor, and really help you guys grow and become who you're supposed to be. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome you all. Feel free, let's engage. Please ask as many questions as you can. And I'm pretty sure the speakers of the day are going to answer. And remember, when you want to position yourself in the marketplace, you have to be extra. And what they're going to show you today is practical steps on how you can achieve this. So please, I'd encourage you, stay connected, don't be distracted. This information can ideally make the difference between now and the 10 years of your life. So thank you very much. Back to you, Barbara.
Okay, thank you, Anthony. I think for the attendees, all the students who are within the webinar, please, if you have any questions, please use the Q&A. When you go to more, you should be able to see a Q&A section. So if you have any questions, you can be able to ask. We'll now move to the next section. Masiomolo, if you're ready. So Masiomolo is the Vice President for ISACA Kenya chapter.
Thanks, Barbara. Happy to be here. Pleasure to meet you, all of you. I wish we could have seen each other, but no worries about that. So welcome to this Virtual Students Forum. I'm actually a bit jealous of the students who are on the call because during our time, we didn't have such scenarios or such benefits of having forums, especially digital forums and the likes. So I'd like to challenge you and just call on to you to take these opportunities seriously. We're living in the digital era where if you don't differentiate yourself, if you don't position yourself in terms of having a digital brand in the workplace, then you're going to lose out on a lot of things, because even in terms of recruiting, many of the HR directors, they just go to LinkedIn to check your profile. The era of, uploading or sending CVs and printing CVs is over. So you need to take these opportunities of enhancing your digital profile and enhancing your digital CV so that you get noticed by recruiters and the likes. So I won't belabor on what Anthony and Preston have mentioned about ISACA. We have our website, and just think of ISACA as a one-stop shop for everything technology. There are many other professional bodies in the technology world, but you'll find most of them are geared towards a particular thing, whether it's cybersecurity, whether it's data privacy. But ISACA gives us the benefit of having everything under one roof. Like maybe for the Kenyan people, or the Kenyan students on the call, you remember Nakumatt, it was like their slogan used to be one roof for everything. Yeah. So think of ISACA as that, because we have, if you think about cybersecurity, we have a certification for that. We have trainings on that. If you think of data privacy, we have something for that. Blockchain and AI, Internet of Things, we have a certificate on that. We have certificates on audit, certificates on risk management. Some things probably may be a bit strange to you, but our website has details and explains this in detail. I'd like to just touch on two things. ISACA, we have student groups in various universities. And if you're interested in having a student group in the university, it's free to start one. We'll give you the resources. We'll be able to help you come up with trainings or have facilitate speakers for you if you're interested in doing so or in having one. So if you feel like you're interested in that, or you're not aware if your university has a student group, we'll be able to provide you with that information. I think Kevin can post on the group on how you can reach us, on the chat on how you can reach us, so that we can be able to give you that information. Then the last thing I'd like to touch on is that because as ISACA, we want the next generation of leaders in terms of technology. We want to develop our leaders, our future leaders are yourselves from the universities. You're the ones who are going to lead us into the next future in terms of technology matters. So ISACA has a foundation called One in Tech, and that foundation, their work is basically to ensure that we are upskilling the next generation as yourselves. And by that, we usually give scholarships to students. And it can be anything related to, it doesn't have to be ISACA courses. We usually upskill and give scholarships to assist Some of it is maybe to assist in terms of clearing your school fees if you're doing maybe a computer science course or a technology course that's related to what ISACA does. So also feel free to reach us on that. We can provide details on when the scholarship round will open. And lastly, the same one in tech has an advisory board. So you as young leaders are the ones who know probably where we are headed to the future, what your senior generation should be looking out for. So the advisory board of One in Tech, called Next Gen Advisory Board, is comprised of young leaders and actually leaders who are in universities. So if you're interested as well, please feel free to reach out to us and we'll be able to provide information. So without further ado, I'm not the one who's speaking today. So our keynote speaker is Stuart Samakange, and he's the employability partner for colleges and universities. And he enables students and graduates with skills for jobs and entrepreneurship. He currently works at LinkedIn, and he's worked across 7 countries in East, West, and Southern Africa. He's worked for companies like IBM, Microsoft, SAP, Oracle, SuccessFactors, LinkedIn. So this is someone who has been in the technology world, and we're not just bringing anybody to speak to you. This is somebody whose CV speaks for himself, and he'll be here to help us learn, gain a bit of knowledge, and that will help to position your personal brands and strategically position yourselves to prepare for emerging opportunities in the workplace or as entrepreneurs. Maybe some of you may decide to go to the entrepreneurial way and maybe have startups that probably are technology-based, and that's also a career path as well. So he'll be sharing with us how to leverage LinkedIn, and he'll be doing some practical demonstrations on how you can get insights and skills into jobs and demand on industry. So thank you, and welcome, Stuart. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Can you see my screen?
Yes, you can.
And it says I'm unable to start video. Unfortunately, it's been stopped, so I won't be able to switch on video, but it's not as important. Let's get started, and let's start getting an idea of what we're going to be covering in this session. So with that, I'm going to start off with a video, and then I'll introduce myself and tell you what to expect in today's session. A very good morning to you, wherever you're watching from. I wish I could be there in Africa with you. It's just under 9 degrees here in Dublin, Ireland, where I'm based. My name is Stuart Samakange. At LinkedIn, I have the opportunity of working with higher educational institutions and helping them help students like yourself get skills for jobs. Today's session is going to be focused around how we build our personal brands and how we strategically network in order for us to get access to economic opportunities. And the economic opportunities we're talking about today are not just jobs. Some of the economic opportunities we'll be talking about will be speaking to how you can flourish as a young entrepreneur on this platform. We'll demystify LinkedIn, and with that, let us see what it is you should expect in today's session. So we'll start off by demystifying LinkedIn. As promised, what is LinkedIn? What does it mean to me? How should I be leveraging it? What distinguishes my LinkedIn profile over my resume, my curriculum vitae, and any other presence that I have out there in the world? How do I strategically network with like-minded professionals, network with the companies that are hiring talent such as myself? And it's in terms of getting access to those jobs, how do I do this smartly? Job hunting is not easy. How do I do this smartly? And I'll be sharing some tips and insights on how to do that. Of course, we'll look at how you can also further leverage LinkedIn to share your ideas, to connect with like-minded professionals, and to continue to grow your knowledge in the sector that you want to be known as a specialist. And I love the fact that our three opening speakers all spoke about embracing a culture of lifelong learning, which is one of my key points. And then lastly, time permitting, of course, today we're running a little bit late. Time permitting, I want to actually show you who's hiring skills like yourself and why are they looking for your skills. With that, I thought maybe I'll start off with a little bit of pop culture. In the chat, does anybody know who this man is? His real name? Well, I am on full screen, so I can't see your responses, but I'm sure a couple of you came back and said, yes, that is Jay-Z, or otherwise known as Sean Carter. Why am I showing this? Well, I show this because there's a bit of a story behind this. And one part of the story is that the quotes that you can see on the screen came in a song that he did with Kanye West. But also I wanted to share this because it's how I tend to think about my own personal LinkedIn profile. I think of myself as a business, as a brand. The legend behind this quote that we're seeing here is that Jay-Z was asked, why don't you wear t-shirts? Why aren't you wearing jeans anymore? Why aren't you wearing gold chains anymore? Are you trying to do business? Are you trying to be a businessman? And his answer was profound. I am not trying to be a businessman. I am a business man. So in terms of thinking of businesses and our own personal selves, how do we shape our own personal brands like the way companies curate and manage their brands? Something to think about as we get started. As we get started, like I said, let's start demystifying LinkedIn as that thought starts going through our head. What is LinkedIn? How big is it? And where's my space in it? And how can I leverage this as I start building out my own personal profile? Did you know on LinkedIn, there's currently over 900 million members? What does that mean to you? That means as you start building out your personal brand story, you have an opportunity to see how other like-minded professionals have written their story. What are they studying? Where are they working? What skills are they investing in? Which groups are they in? And how can I learn more to grow into the professional I desire to be? These 900 million people also serve as connections that can either endorse the skills that you have or give you written recommendations. What's more, on LinkedIn, there's a presence of over 59 million companies. And a pro tip right here is that when we are on LinkedIn, when we are looking for jobs, some of these 59 million companies speak to the interest that we have as young professionals. So my recommendation for you is to follow these companies, because when they post content on LinkedIn, that content will show up on your feed. And as you start reading their content, you start knowing more about their culture, their values, the things that they're struggling with, the things that they're hiring for, the solutions that they're creating. That will enable you to have a better experience when given a chance to be interviewed. On LinkedIn, at any given time, there's over 11 million jobs. Here's a pro tip for you of what those 11 million jobs mean to you. As you look at those 11 million jobs, look at the language that they're using in describing those jobs. What industry terminology are they referencing? What skills are they saying they're looking for? Because this is what's going to ultimately start helping to shape the narrative of the story you tell of you. Remember I said you're a brand? An amazing brand whose story is yet to be told on this platform, which has the world's biggest professionals, 59 million companies, and jobs and opportunities for you. What's more, like we said, as companies start posting out jobs and highlighting the skills that they're trying to hire for, you have the ability now to look at those skills, start investing and adding those to your own particular profile so that you stand out when opportunities become available. This global digital representation of the world's professional workforce serves to help you grow, network, learn, and of course, find economic opportunities. Here's some stats that might throw you off and that you might not be aware of. Did you know in the last 12 months, 4 million people got jobs on LinkedIn? And if you were to break that down, that is literally 8 hires every single minute. So if you are looking for a job and you joined this call today to find out how to get a job, well, the journey begins today because there is a job out there for you. But here's another interesting stat that I think is important as we think about why we're building our profiles, why we're investing time in this particular session today, is that on LinkedIn, every single second, 3 new members join. It's a crowded place. So in order for our voices to be heard, in order for our brands to be understood, in order for the skills that we have, the credibility that we bring, the results and the impact that we can show, we can bring into the workplace, in order for that to come to life, we need to go so much more than just having a profile. And in today's session, I'm going to show you some tips and tricks of how to go just beyond having a profile on LinkedIn. But for some of us in the room today, you haven't got a LinkedIn profile. Here's my quote for you. You all know Jeff Bezos of Amazon? Jeff Bezos said, "Your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room." Let me say it again. Your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. When they're making those hiring decisions, when they're choosing a vendor to provide them with products, services, or solutions, if your brand is not there right in their faces, then of course you get missed out on those opportunities. So our LinkedIn profiles help us reach out to all professionals out there that can help us thrive and grow in our careers. Our LinkedIn profiles enable other people to see our experiences, our education, and our skills. And what's more, help surface us when jobs become available. What's more, our LinkedIn profiles enable us to be proactive, to leverage various tools to enable us not only to apply for jobs, but to prepare best for those jobs when we're given an opportunity to interview or to intern at organizations. You have an opportunity today to start meaningfully building a strategic network of like-minded professionals. LinkedIn is not a popularity contest. LinkedIn is where we connect with people that have studied things that we have, people that are in industries we care about. We start following organizations that are in our interest list of wanting to work in. What's more, our LinkedIn experience should be an enriching experience, an experience where if we go into our newsfeed, we're engaging, we're learning, we're connecting, we're adding our own perspective and point of view to other people's posts and opinions. So your newsfeed on LinkedIn, if today you're waking up and you're not reaching out to open up your phone and look at the LinkedIn app, perhaps this is the time to rethink, who am I following? Which organizations am I connected to? Because what comes out on your news feed is based on the people you're connected to, the industry leaders you follow, and the companies that you have an interest in. And what's more, LinkedIn gives you an opportunity to wean off some of the connections that we have where maybe the content is not related to what we care about. Don't worry, LinkedIn won't let them know. Let's carry on. On LinkedIn, of course, we're also going to get the opportunity to build up our skills. And I'll talk a little bit more about our skills, particularly around the 18,000 online courses that LinkedIn Learning provides. But let's get started on what's important in terms of building out your individual profile. I'm sure as I put up this slide here, one of the first things that grabbed your attention was the visual images. Likewise, when I give advice to young students about beginning the journey of building your profile, I often relate to how the human mind works. Our eyes gravitate naturally towards images rather than text. So the journey of building out your profile starts with an authentic, warm, welcoming smile on your profile photograph. Don't worry about dressing for the industry. Don't worry about going into a photo studio. You can if you want, but you all have access to smartphone devices. And what I think about this is when people are scrolling through, and remember, people go through about a mile of content every day. As they scroll through, they might not remember your face, your name, but they will remember that face or image that is constantly posting and talking about IT security, enterprise governance, compliance, subjects that are close to you. Next, in terms of our profiles, we have an opportunity to specify our location. It's important because recruiters, hiring managers search up to 300,000 times every week based on location. If you're aspiring to work in geographical locations outside of where you are today, there is a place on LinkedIn where you can say, yes, I aspire to work in South Africa. I aspire to work in London. I aspire to work out of New York. Wherever you choose to work, there is a place, and I'll show you where you can specify that. But it's important right now that you're accurate on your specification of where you're located so that recruiters and hiring managers can find you. What's more, we have an opportunity to put a headline of what our strengths are. What's a headline? Well, if you picked up your phone today and you did a search for anyone on LinkedIn, like I said, what's going to grab your attention is the photograph, the person's name, and of course, the headline. Now, the headline, if you haven't updated it, it will pick up what was your last work experience, the title that you had. But as a young professional, understand this. Your headline is where you have the opportunity to tell people what you do, tell people what your strengths are, and the journey that you're on. This is where you start making that first impression of what journey you're on. I've seen some young professionals go in and say, I'm looking for a job. Yes, well and true, but that's not the place. LinkedIn has a place where you can actually tell people that you're open to work. Rather here, tell people the journey that you're on and the strengths that you have, and possibly even the industry you're interested in. Don't worry, after this session, you're going to get access to guides that will give you some suggestions on what you could put in your headlines. Let's move on. In terms of what else is important to put on your LinkedIn profile, it's important that you become part of the alumni network of where you studied. If you're looking at your LinkedIn profile right now and you've put in your institution and it doesn't show the logo of the institution, chances are you have spelled it wrong, abbreviated it, or in the very, very rare instance, that institution doesn't have a presence on LinkedIn. Very rare. So make sure that when you're building your profile under education, if, say, for example, you studied at Palm Tree University, as you can see on the screen here as an example, type in the word Palm Tree and then see what comes up. LinkedIn will make suggestions around organizations that are registered as Palm Tree, and then you can pick up your specific university. It's important that you're part of your alumni, because in understanding your alumni, you'll be able to reach out to people who have studied similar subjects as yourself, been to the same institution, where you can start getting informational interviews. What does it take to work at Safaricom? Why is Safaricom hiring for this role? What is expected in the day of someone working in this role? All of those informational interviews will help prepare you when you have an opportunity to sit in front of a hiring manager or a recruiter. Let's move on. What's also important to put on our profiles, you might be asking yourself, your volunteer experience. Why? Well, here I like to go to a quote, one of my favorite authors, Maya Angelou. Maya Angelou said, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Did you get that? People will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. So our volunteer experience starts showing the holistic human being we are, what we contribute to society for no commercial gain. LinkedIn statistics show that people, if you add your volunteer experience, you'll get 6 times more profile views because organizations and the people you're interacting with on LinkedIn want to know the causes you care about. And let's remember, organizations, whether public, private, or otherwise, all do corporate social responsibility activities. It could be that you're a member of Red Cross. It could be you could be a member of Lions Club. And that person sitting over the table, you could have that in common. Next, on LinkedIn, we have the opportunity to specify and show the strengths that we have through skills. When we add skills onto our profiles, those who are connected with us can go in and endorse us. This helps our social capital, because what it is telling recruiters is that as much as you are familiar with informatics programming or information security, there are other people out there who are already attesting to your skills. Beyond endorsements, which I will show you later on, you can also get recommendations that help your social capital. What's more, we are all operating in a global world. One thing that I have found quite useful in adding in your profile is the languages that you speak, and of course, the qualifications and awards that you have received in your journey. So if you're striving for leadership, if you're striving for positions where you coordinate and lead teams, this is where you start showing those leadership qualities by highlighting any awards, qualifications, and certifications that you've received in the past. What's important on LinkedIn to understand, like I said, is that LinkedIn is not a popularity contest. It's not about how many people you connect with. It's about quality connections, connections that can help you, connections that can give you recommendations, connections that can give you insights into jobs, connections that are in a position to hire, connections that can advise you on what skills you should be growing as a young professional in order for you to stand out. But where do we find these connections? A lot of us, when we start, of course, we add our friends and family. No problem. Do that. But let's now start looking at it more strategically and identifying those in jobs that we like, those who are in industries that we aspire to work in, and those that can help shape and grow us as young professionals. And what's more, if you're looking to reach out to an executive and you don't know them, then perhaps just follow them. You can follow them to see their content. But if you do know them, then reach out to connect. And what's more, when you do, LinkedIn gives you an option to say why you want to connect. So give people a reason. I've looked at your profile. I love the career trajectory you've been on. I'm a young, inspiring student. I'd like to connect up with you to exchange professional experiences, ideas, and opportunities, particularly in cybersecurity. That's it. Then someone has a reason and a purpose to want to connect with you. If you're just randomly clicking the connect button and not giving people reason to why they want to connect, you wouldn't do that in the real world, right? You wouldn't randomly connect with strangers. So similar to this. Let's see, what else can we do with our connections? When we have first level connections, they're the same people who are going to endorse us. They're the same people who will give us recommendations. They're the same people who will influence what groups we can join. Other connections, like I said, that you can take advantage of is, of course, your university network or your college network. Like I said, here's an example. University of Nairobi has 167,642 alumni. You get to know where they work, where they live, what they do, what they studied, what they're skilled at, and get to know how you're connected to them as an individual. Reach out to your alumni. Reach out with purpose, not to say, is there a job? No. You've got access to LinkedIn. If that person is in a hiring position, you would see the jobs on LinkedIn. You'd see the jobs on their website. And you'll see from their title if they're in a position to hire. What you want to do is rather reach out to your alumni network. to find mentors, to find coaches, to find those who can start helping you shape the skills that you're growing to make them more relevant to the demands that they're seeing in their workplaces. I don't know if you can see it on the screen here, but there's an example of me following the institution. And when I go to their page, it already shows me jobs that are aligned to my skill. So just by following organizations, you start seeing economic opportunities that might be available to you. In terms of job hunting, like I said, job hunting is never easy. I don't want to underestimate the effort involved in it, but we can be smarter about how we go about this, because we're not just looking for any job. We're looking for our job. Jobs aligned to our purpose, our passion, our skills, and our experience. So how do we do this? We do this, first of all, by telling the world that we're open to be hired. We're in the jobs market right now. If we know our LinkedIn profiles are up to date, on LinkedIn, like I said, there's a special feature where you can go and switch on a digital badge that says you're open to work. This tells the world that you're open for opportunities. What's more, you can go in under the open to work button and now specify the types of jobs you're interested in, the locations you're interested in working in, the types of titles associated with your interests, and whether you're looking for remote work, part-time work, full-time work, or you're looking to volunteer. So those who are using our recruiter solutions can get to understand where you are on your career journey. So the first thing is, of course, if our profiles are up to date, we can switch on the digital badge that says #open to work. And then what's more, we can transition ourselves over to the jobs tab on LinkedIn and set up some filters. Filters based on the industries, filters based on companies, filters based on locations, filters based on skills or seniority, multiple options available to us in terms of the types of jobs that we're interested in. Once we've set up these filters, we can activate for LinkedIn to notify us when these jobs become available. So in terms of taking away some of the pressures of finding economic opportunities such as jobs, LinkedIn has started helping us on that journey. But there's more help available for you in terms of helping you prepare for an interview and helping you become successful in terms of being shortlisted or hired. How? First of all, our LinkedIn profile is completely different from our resume or our curriculum vitae. Those are static documents that we create for a specific organization. But our LinkedIn profiles speak to a global talent pool of professionals, hiring managers, potential colleagues you'll work with, potential people you'll sell your products and solutions to. Recruiters are on this platform. So if we keep our profiles up to date and we see economic opportunities, then it means whether we're commuting, we're walking, we're cooking, we're away from our computers, we'll be able to apply for those jobs by leveraging our LinkedIn profiles. CV, we can use them to apply for roles that we see online. So LinkedIn helps us prepare to apply for those roles, but preparing for the interview is equally important. Did you know if you go into your jobs tab on LinkedIn, you can run through simulated questions on typical interview questions to help you prepare for those interviews. Going back to what else we can do on our LinkedIn profiles, since we've spoken, of course, thus far about why we should be using LinkedIn, what our profiles would do for us, how we strategically network and apply and look for jobs. Let us now look at how LinkedIn can continue to further our education. Because when we're in front of hiring managers, when we're in front of recruiters, when we're in front of those that we want to influence, either to hire us as interns, to give us opportunities to work for them, to provide services and products, we want to ensure that we're leading with our best foot forward. We're speaking about the industry challenges and potential solutions. We're sharing new ideas that maybe we've read about or researched. So let me give you an example. If I'm going into an interview, I'm going to jump onto LinkedIn and say hashtag business analyst, or I'm going to say hashtag business intelligence, and see what are the trending topics and new ideas that my contacts or the world at large has shared about these topics. I might even go a step further and look at groups on LinkedIn for data analysts. What do they talk about? What are the challenges? Can I ask questions? Of course I can ask questions. I think of LinkedIn as free business consultancy. Because when I join groups, I can put in hypothetical questions, and I know someone somewhere in the world out of those 900 million people is going to come back with an idea, come back with a suggestion, a methodology, come back with maybe a hypothetical. All these help to make me more informed. So I've given you a couple of ideas of how you can leverage LinkedIn to stay up to date. By having contacts, having a meaningful network of like-minded professionals, joining groups to understand the tone, to understand the conversations, the challenges, the opportunities, to look at hashtags on LinkedIn and to follow them so that I'm always up to date on my industry. And guess what? As I see that content, I can reshare it with my network. Remember I said, it's so much more than just building a profile. It's also sharing your point of view. It's also sharing your perspective with the world at large. And what's more, LinkedIn gives us the opportunity to attend live events, which I encourage you because it will continue to grow your knowledge. I know all of the speakers spoke to this, so I won't belabor the point, but I wanted to tell you why learning, or at least embracing a lifelong learning culture, is important. Learning is important, of course, because it's going to help you stay up to date. Learning is important because recruiters, when they search today, they're not searching by your degree. Yes, that's one of the criteria of when they're searching, but they're searching based on skills. We live in a skills economy. And this is why when you invest on getting skills, and these could be business, creative, technology skills, or even skills on well-being, skills such as essential soft skills, team management, collaboration, time management. When you invest in getting these skills, you're holistically preparing yourself to show your best foot forward in terms of, I am ready for these economic opportunities that this organization is offering. But here's why it matters even more. What we have found with our research is that if you create a LinkedIn profile and you do online learning, such as LinkedIn Learning, you add it to your profile, members start, of course, like I said, some members who are connected with you start endorsing you. Here's what it does for you. It increases your chances of being shortlisted and hired by 9%. Did you hear me? A member with a certificate on their profile for skills increases their chances of being hired and shortlisted by 9%, just by adding in that certificate. You want to go further? You want a more competitive advantage? On LinkedIn, when you see a job, certain recruiters will put in an option for skills assessment. When you see that and you take the skills assessment test, you increase your chances by a further 20%. So just by investing in yourself and embracing this lifelong learning culture, you're giving yourself a 29% advantage over someone else who doesn't have that. What's more, as LinkedIn, we partner up with institutions like yourselves. Not so much, yes, students, we're here to enable students, but we're partnering at institutional level. And I'm glad that I've been given this opportunity to speak to you about the changing nature of work. Like I said, it's a skills-based economy. When we observe recruiters, when they're searching, when they're shortlisting, when hiring managers are looking at profiles, they're looking to understand what skills you have. And because LinkedIn has 11 million jobs, 59 million companies, we're beginning to see what skills are going to be most in demand as we go into 2025. And of course, you'll find some of these on LinkedIn Learning. Now, before I transition over to show you a quick demonstration of some of these insights, just wanted quickly to highlight what we've covered today. Your profile is your brand. It's your story. There's no such thing as a perfect profile. It's a journey. When you feel the right energy, when you're ready to engage, get onto your profile and work on one area, or if you're inspired, work on all areas. Update your profile. Use language that is related to, of course, the jobs, the industries, and the acronyms related to that sector that you want to work with. But make it a story. Tell people who you are, what impact, what results you've seen in the past that attest to your credibility. Use LinkedIn to search for jobs and use it smartly. Set up search filters so that jobs can be surfaced and sent directly to your email. And when you're ready to apply, look within your network. Who works there? Who do I know? What can I find out before I apply or before I prepare for my interview? And use LinkedIn to enrich yourself and give yourself knowledge about what's happening in your sector. I want to transition over to show you a little bit about LinkedIn Learning and how it can help you identify the skills specific to your role. But as I do that, I'm going to ask my moderator right now, please kindly, to surface our poll, because this is how we find out what's important to you. This is how we find out what the next level of engagement we can do with you that will help you become successful. So if my poll moderator would please kindly set out the poll. And as you set out the poll, I did promise I'd share some resources. For those of you who are watching, please participate in the poll, and then I'll share, of course, the QR code where you can find some of these resources. And if time permits, we might even just have a quick look at how recruiters are identifying you and why all this data we spoke about, why it's important, how it's being surfaced, and how it's being used. I see the poll is now live. I encourage you, please, to give me the gift of feedback and be honest. This is how we learn. This is how we grow. So I think you can see the poll, and I'm encouraging you to participate in the poll. As you do the poll, like I said, I'm going to share these resources. Of course, these resources are going to be available to the Secretariat, and they will be sharing with everyone afterwards. But what you're going to find in the resources, of course, is some tips on how to help you with your job search, some tips on how, of course, to network on LinkedIn, how to communicate, how to learn on LinkedIn, some tips on what a professional LinkedIn profile looks like. Like we said, no such thing as a perfect profile, but there is, of course, great profiles. What you're also going to find is some videos and additional resources that speak to some of the common questions I get from students around LinkedIn and, of course, what it provides for us. As the poll continues, and of course, I continue to encourage you to participate in the poll. Before I switch over to my live screen, I wanted to, of course, give you an opportunity to connect up with me after this session. Of course, this has been only a 50-minute session, a quick one. I haven't entirely covered everything, but there is other content available from myself on YouTube. I post regularly on Twitter. And of course, like I said, you are going to get access to the shared resources that we've made available in the QR code that you can see on screen. I see we've had 30 responses, and we've got an audience of 53 people. So I'm encouraging the last remaining few people to give us some feedback as I transition over to my live screen. Dear moderator, Barbara, do you want to come back on and tell me how many minutes I've got? Because I really wanted to show our students the back end of what recruiters see versus what they see as a user on the other end. So how much time are you going to give me, considering we did start a little bit late? Barbara?
Nice to it. I think we can do 10 minutes.
We can do 10 minutes. Awesome. We've got about 38 responses. I'm going for 100% response. 39. We're doing so well. Thank you, folks, for giving us some feedback. But I thought it would be important to show you in the remaining 10 minutes the lens from a recruiter's perspective, and also why it's important that we put in some of those content that I was talking about in terms of building out your profile. So I've got two ways I can do this. One is to open up our recruiter tool, but I wanted to start off by showing you some of the insights of the landscape of where you're operating right now. So recruiters, hiring managers, higher educational institutions, they use this technology called Talent Insights when they're looking to find out about skills, about companies, and of course, to identify you as a young talent. What I'll be specifically looking at is, of course, from a talent perspective, I have the opportunity to search using certain criteria. Here, you're only seeing maybe a couple of filters here, maybe 10, 20 filters here. But
Stuart,
yes,
we can't see, we're unable to see your screen if you're sharing.
Oh dear. All right, so let me just try that again. Let's just go in. I think when I did the switch, it moved over. So give me a sec. And please confirm when you can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Oh, not yet?
It came on and then went
It
off
w-
again.
All right, so let's do that again. Can we see it now?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, so I'll try and make this nice and quick. So what am I trying to show you? I'm trying to show you the perspective of how recruiters identify talent like yourself, and that's why it's important for us to have dynamic profiles. Remember, your LinkedIn profile, unlike your resume, is the digital billboard story of you. Did you hear that? Digital billboard story of you, which means it can change. Your journey is going to change. The skills you're going to acquire will change. As you learn more about industries and opportunities, that will change. So let's not have our LinkedIn profiles as a static presence, but let's rather have our LinkedIn profiles as where we dynamically bring out our career journey. Like I said, when recruiters are searching, here's a couple of the filters they have available to them. What I've opened up is Talent Insights. I haven't opened up LinkedIn Recruiter, but here you can see some of the things they use to search by. Specifically jobs, titles, using skills, using companies you've worked for, getting to understand the industries you're in, getting to know the location. Remember, I did point this out. Getting to know where you were educated, getting to know the degree program, and maybe even the languages that you speak and the years of experience that you have. In the interest of time, I had actually pre-populated and done a search based on our audience today. So what was the search? I'd done a search across those who are representing us in this room, some of the locations you are currently sitting in, and some of the participants that are on this call. I'd done a search around information security governance as a skill, information security, audit, and of course, IT compliance and risk management. Those are some of the skills that I would assume that some of you would have once you get out into the world of work. I haven't searched by any other criteria, but here's what it starts telling me. It tells me that there's 36,000 professionals that have similar skills like you say you have. It tells me that 4,500 recently changed jobs. There's momentum in this marketplace because the number of professionals in this marketplace has grown by 30%. What's more, it already starts telling me what jobs are out there. So if I was a recruiter, I would start seeing that if I'm hunting for you as a talent, I can see who else is hiring for you and the type of skills you have. So we can see the companies, the locations where they are, the type of skills they're looking for, and of course, the functions in which you will play in their business. And here's some of the jobs, some posted a day ago, 3 days ago, 5 days ago. And what's more, not only are we seeing the number of jobs, but we're also beginning to get a sense that you are talent that is high in demand, and actually talent that is hard to hire. LinkedIn is looking at its own analytics and insights around the number of professionals, the number of jobs, and of course, the propensity of people replying to recruiter emails and accepting those jobs. So when you enter into this job market, you're entering a job market where you are in demand. What's more, what we're beginning to understand about this job market is which are the companies that are employing the most like-minded professionals such as ourselves. And some of these companies, like you can see here, Standard Bank Group currently doesn't have any jobs open. But we can see Absa Group, for example, has 16 jobs open that are related to some of the skills that we specified. In terms of companies, I want to show you another view where we can actually see which companies have the most jobs open. But before I do that, I wanted to highlight why all of the data we're putting is super important. We can see how our location data influences where recruiters search. Because right now, if a recruiter was searching for this talent, they'll start in Nigeria, look in Kenya, and then Uganda. That's based on demand. What's more, we're also beginning to understand that as we go into this journey as young professionals, the opportunity for us is not just to be employees. The opportunity for us is also to grow into entrepreneurship. How do we know? We can see that from the 36,000, here's some of the titles that other professionals like ourselves are already holding. Some are chief executives, directors, managing directors. These are leadership roles. So you're on the right trajectory if you're not looking to get a job, if you're looking to become an entrepreneur and provide product, services, and solutions. In terms of what else is important to us to understand, like we said, we're getting a view of companies. Like we said, this platform I'm showing would be in the hands of your university, your college, your higher educational institution, or the secretariat, where they can say what companies are employing talent like yourself and how many of it, or more importantly, which companies have the most jobs. And we can see that Deloitte, Ernst & Young, and Nedbank have the most number of jobs associated to the skills criteria that I put in there. What's more, we can also view this from which organizations have the most attrition. Because if they're losing talent, then maybe they're hiring, and there's an opportunity for us to think about those organizations as potential employers to ourselves. Other things that are important to understand is that as we're entering into this world of work, like we said, we need to embrace a culture of lifelong learning. The skills we have will help us stand out, and the skills we have will get us access to those dream jobs that we aspire for. But what is going to help us stand out is knowing what skills are in common and skills that we should have, and then knowing what skills are fastest rising that will give us the competitive edge. So in terms of common skills, here are the common skills in the marketplace. We're getting to see not only the skills, the number of professionals, we're also getting to see if the jobs related to that particular skill. And what's more, from a gender perspective, we're getting to see what those gender stats look like so that as young professionals, we can see where we're going to stand the biggest competitive advantage. And what's more, we're getting to see the types of organizations that are hiring in this space. Like I said, these are the common skills. What's important for you as a young professional is getting a sense of what are the fastest growing skills. The fastest growing skills in your space are these skills. And guess what? Other professionals, those 86,000, here's how much they've grown this skill by. Here's how many professionals have this skill. And here's how many jobs are related. And what's more, the top 3 employers in this space are Microsoft, Darktrace, and a company called Supermicro. So that's skills. Getting a view of what skills are important will help shape our career. I've just flipped over, because we're really at time right now, over to LinkedIn Learning. Earlier on, I showed you a full splash screen of our 18,000 courses. But I've just jumped into LinkedIn Learning to show you how we're helping shape your learning. So in terms of your learning, I've just gone into our technology library here. We have a business, creative, and a technology library. If I go into my technology library, I can search for courses based on the role that I want to play. based on what the industry and LinkedIn has put together as the prescriptive courses that one would require in order to play a role as maybe, let's say, for example, here, a data analyst. And when you open it up, what is going to surface for us is a view of the courses that the courses that are being recommended for us, and the courses being those that are most popular. And already I can see if someone in my network has done this course, and I can reach out to Andre and say, hey, Andre, I see you completed that course. Why did you do it? What we can also get a sense of, based on my profile, if I do these skills, here is the additional. And then what's more, it gives me a learning path. So if I want to know how to become a data analyst, it tells me that the time investment, total time investment, is 39 hours. There's 13 pieces of learning here. Some as short as 44 minutes, some as long as 5 hours, 18 minutes. But here's the beauty with LinkedIn Learning, is that it's bite-sized learning. So when you start your journey and you start opening up the courses that are recommended here, as I said, there were 13 pieces. This is just one of them. Maybe you just have a question on it watching just that particular portion or class that you're going into. So watch just these courses onto your mobile devices and watch them as you commute. What's more, you're going to get access to the trainer on LinkedIn, see what makes them credible, ask them questions. You can join groups on LinkedIn Learning. We'll give you exercise files to help bring the learning to life. You will get certificates that you can add to your profile. Some are certificates issued by LinkedIn, and some are associated with professional bodies or organizations such as Amazon, Microsoft, Google, etc. Or they could be related to industry bodies such as SHRM, HR, etc., project management, or other certifying organizations. And what's more, you can take your exam here. As you go through the courses, like I said, you can download these. And of course, you can start seeing who else is watching these courses and interact with other members online. And of course, once you've completed this, add this to your profile, share it, and let the world know that you've invested in learning. All right, so I've just given you a quick snapshot. I know there's a lot to take in today's session, but I know you'll start the journey today. You start the journey today because now you understand why everything you do on your profile matters, why everything on your profile is searchable, why everything that you do in terms of sharing content, engaging people, networking, sharing your learning, why that's important to help you get access to new economic success. Let me stop at this point. Like I said, we're going to be giving you some of this material. And of course, you'll have the ability to start building out your profile and investing in learning. I'm just going to ask Barbara to come back on and see if there's any questions, one or two, and then, of course, hand it over to the next speaker as we're running behind time. And of course, thank you for those who have filled in the poll. Do we have any questions, or we
Barbara, we continue. Hello, Barbara. Okay, as she comes in, I guess some of the participants are asking for your contact information. We'll share your LinkedIn profile, and
yes.
I think they can reach out to you.
Yes. So to be honest with you, and again, I want to be quite transparent, I do cover Africa, Central Eastern Europe, and Southern Eastern Europe, Turkey, Israel, Greece, Malta, and Cyprus. So quite a number of countries that I do manage. What is you're going to find is that, of course, the resources that are put on LinkedIn go so much further into this. The resources I will make available on YouTube, again, enable you to learn at your own pace. And of course, I'm available on Twitter as well. For me to support, it's best through an institution. Because then, of course, we can scale, such as we're doing today, as opposed to one-on-one consultations. So I just want to be honest in terms of my time.
Yeah. I'm sure you get a lot of questions from many people, not only just students and the like. So we'll be happy to share the resources, and also this will also be available on our YouTube platform, so we can direct some of the people who have questions to have a look. But I think maybe there was one question. Is it possible to get a job through LinkedIn in the line of study as a student? If yes, which platforms should the students look out for?
Sorry, do you want to just repeat that one again? Is it possible to get a?
Is it possible to get a job through LinkedIn in the line of study as a student? And if yes, what should they look out for? Which platforms should they look out for?
I'm not too sure if I got that question 100%, but if I understand it correctly, yes. Can you get jobs as a student? Can you search for student jobs and internships? Yes, you can. And of course, LinkedIn being the platform where you would see those jobs is where I would recommend. So I'm not too sure if I got that question 100% right, or if I missed the point there.
Yeah. I think it was more or less in the same line of thought.
Yeah, so there are plenty student jobs and opportunities for you to intern. And of course, once you've done those jobs and internships, go and add that into your LinkedIn profile as work experience. And a work experience, what I would recommend is, of course, not a laundry list of what you did every day, but of course, put in a title that informs people, tell people who the organization is, and then explain what you did in your role in terms of results and impact. And again, thinking back, what are the things recruiters are looking for? How do I demonstrate that credibility in terms of telling my story? That's what I'll be thinking about in terms of, once I've engaged with an organization, no matter how long or short term it is, I then look and say, what skills did I learn? How do I put this into a story so that whoever's reading this, whether they're in Kenya or they're around the world, they're getting a sense of who I worked for, what I did, what results and impact I acquired there, and what I'm now journeying on to. So everything on your profile is searchable.
All right. And I think maybe one last question. With regards to LinkedIn Learning.
Can Stuart have the video on now? Or if she
more than happy to have video on. There you go. I'm real.
To see you.
Excellent.
Yeah. Maybe just one last question
okay.
for myself. So with regards to LinkedIn Learning, once someone has completed a course, so let's say I was doing a course maybe on introduction to cybersecurity, can one list that as a skill that they have on their profile?
Oh, definitely.
Maybe I can hand over to Barbara.
And again, let's think about skills, right? So you've done a course, you can add that skill onto your profile. Those we are connected to will start endorsing us. And of course, we have the opportunity to endorse other people. Again, something else that will help you stand out is that, yes, you've done the cybersecurity course. You might reach out maybe to that LinkedIn Learning instructor, or if you did a classroom one, reach out to the lecturer. Ask them to give you a written recommendation on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, you can request a recommendation and you can add context. So I might reach out to Preston and say, hey, Preston, I was part of the 2021 cohort during COVID. You might not remember me individually, but I helped facilitate some of our online sessions with our students. Could you kindly write me a recommendation? Below is some suggested text, Preston, that you could use to illustrate my skills. Feel free to add your tone. Then Preston, as our president, can look at that. Maybe he doesn't remember me during COVID. He'll look at that. I've written the things that I did to help the Secretariat in terms of engaging students, volunteering, getting them jobs, helping them continue to learn remotely. I've written that. If he's happy with it, He sends me the recommendation. I add it to my profile. And what it means is that recruiters, when they're searching, they don't have to ask for recommendations. Unlike a CV where they say, hey, can I reach out to your referrals? Now they're seeing that, oh, the president recommended you, your lecturer recommended you, the places where you volunteered recommended you, and you have also recommended other people, right? Remember, the world of work is human beings. So I want to know holistically, do you celebrate, do you recognize other people that have helped you get to where you are, as well as are they recognizing you and the impact that you've had in their lives? That's it from me, folks. I know we've got another speaker waiting. It's time to shine as an individual. It's time to shine in a continent where we have so many challenges and yet so many opportunities. So build your profile, strategically network, strategically search for jobs, tell your story, share with the world the things that you're learning every day and learn from other people. And of course, keep your LinkedIn profile active, because that's how you're going to know what's happening in your sector, who you should be connecting with, where the jobs are, and of course, what you should be adding to your skills. Thank you very much for your attention throughout this session.
Thank you so much, Stuart. That was a very insightful talk. We really appreciate it, and we're looking forward to engage you in the future. Thank you.
Well, let's hope we can get LinkedIn Learning for all of our participants as a secretariat. Yeah. And then, of course, let's get the insights so we can start understanding the companies and the jobs.
Yeah, sure. A lot of gems dropped today. So I'll be re-listening to the talk again. So thank you so much. We really appreciate it as a chapter. And also, I'm sure the participants also are keen and give their thanks as well. Is Barbara, is your camera back? So thank you, Stuart. We'll be introducing the new speaker. I think there are a few more questions on the chat, maybe that you could answer on the chat if you have some time. But
if I'm not stealing time from the next speaker, I want to be respectful to Lillian.
Yeah. You can just type on the chat. I think Faith, you can direct him on which question he hasn't answered on the chat. So yeah, we'll go on. Barbara, are you back? We still can't hear you. All right. I'll introduce the next speaker. So we have Lillian Gala on the line with us. So Lillian is a HR professional, and she's well known for some of her contributions in policy formulation, talent management, workforce planning, coaching, mentoring, as well as culture management in Kenya. She currently serves as the group head of human resources at Diamond Trust Bank, and she sits on several boards, including the Institute of Human Resources, the Kenya Institute of Bankers, KENIC, and the National Industrial Training Institute. She's currently pursuing a PhD in Human Resource Management at JKUAT, and she's a certified professional trainer by the Institute of Human Resource Management. In 2022, she was named by People Harm as one of the top 50 leaders shaping the future of HR in Africa. And she was also named as the top 20 women making a difference in Kenya in 2021. She's been featured on various daily newspapers in Kenya, as well as some of our national television channels. Over and above that, she's been a speaker on various topics, both locally and internationally. She recently spoke at our ISACA Kenya chapter conference in Mombasa that happened in March, the end of March. And it was a very insightful talk, and she's a very inspiring, very jovial speaker, and I'm sure you'll be happy to hear from her in terms of her insights. So thank you, Lillian. We welcome you, and yeah, take it home.
Thank you very much, Marianne. Apologies for that weak startup. I think I'm struggling with network today. I even mentioned to Anne, and you'll pardon me on that. It's not easy to speak after Stuart with all the energy. And a very good afternoon to all the students, all the participants. I'm sure by the end of this session, we'll have better, or we'll live in an informed manner, having nuggets that we can actually put into practice to take us into the next level. Thank you very much, Mercy Omolo. Actually, I think I got your name. My apologies, Marianne, Mercy, about that. So I hope we are all clear in terms of visibility. I'm struggling to use my phone. We are having challenges at the back today since morning systems. And I think we're in this digital era whereby, you know, as we keep upgrading, we'll also keep having those teething issues. Good, thank you. This is, I think Anne will project for me because of the challenges that I'm facing today. Like I said before, a very good afternoon to all of you, and thank you for tuning in just to have a connection and interact and see how we can learn from one another. First and foremost, I'll talk about, I'll divide my session into two parts because we are having students, we have people already in the career space, we have another group, I think, who are just, building themselves into the organization. So the fact that we have different groups in the session, I'll try my best to divide my session so that at least each and every person will have something to take home today. So I'll start by Anne. And continue. Thank you, Raphael. I think Raphael is saying it's very clear. Thank you, Raphael. We appreciate the feedback. So we look at the career planning. So this one, I'll be speaking to the students. And please, if it's not speaking to you, don't feel so bored because I'll be catching up with you in less than a few minutes. I'll also be talking about how to get promoted, how to, weave your way up the ladder for those who are already in that, in our organizations. And I'll talk about the skills to get you there. I'll talk about getting back on track, especially for younger generations. Those people are making, you come in, you make those small mistakes that we tend to dwell on, and then we are not able to move forward. I'll also talk about them and how to just make sure that we are on track. And okay, and let's continue. You'll pardon me if I continue calling Anne because we need to work together. I have a challenge in the whole system. No, Anne, go back, please. There we are. So on career planning, the steps. First and foremost, you are in the stage, I'm speaking out to the student, you're in this stage whereby you are in IT maybe, for instance, you're in IT, yes, but you're not sure if in IT, what am I going to specialize in? Is it cybersecurity? Is it software engineering? Is it data science? What exactly, is it mobile application? What exactly do you want to focus on? So that planning stage is very, very key as a student. And in this stage, you look at the self-exploration. What is self-exploration and assessment? Self-exploration is whereby you look at yourself, you do a self-assessment about yourself. Who is Lillian? Who is Mercy? Who is Anne? Who is Raphael? How do you describe yourself? Your personality, your interests as a person, and especially in the personality angle. Some people are introverted, some people are extroverted, some are ambiverts, they cut across. Therefore, maybe data science, the data science component might not work for you. What might work for you is software engineering. You're a proactive person. You want to develop solutions for the customers and all that. Maybe you're one person who is so people-oriented, and therefore, if it's in the IT space, you'll tend to focus on the assurance bits, the IT risks, because you're working with people, you're partnering with different departments. So this self-exploration is very key. And we have different types of tools that can help you get to know who you are as a person. As a student, you're in that stage of saying, yes, I could be in IT, but what exactly in IT makes me tick? So the moment you know that, then you are able to take that line, you are able to skill yourself in that line. So do a self-assessment, self-exploration about yourself, who you are, and especially from a value system, from a personality angle and all that. Do a career search. That's another component that is very, very important. You need to do your career search, whereby you are talking about, you'll be, if it's software engineers or the software engineering component, what exactly does it entail? Does a job maybe require me past 5 o'clock? Is it maybe a TD? Those many things. What exactly do they do? Not just the hard bit of it, but what about the soft side of it? Will it align with your value system? If it's going to align with your value system, then automatically you're able to make that choice. And for us who are still in that stage of also exploring, you are not sure of the career, you are not sure of the units that you want to take, another a good part of it will be the number 3, which is a career exploration and experimentation. What you do in this stage is whereby you look for the internship opportunity. Okay, sorry. I hope I didn't lose anyone. I thought I was muted. You've muted myself. No, I've not muted myself at all. Are we okay? Okay, let me try again. Number 3.
Oh.
And good. I'm back on track.
Yes, you are.
Excellent, thank you. I think those are, like I said before, I'll apologize. I'm using my phone because of the challenges that you're having in the system today in the bank. So that's a struggle. So I think what was happening, somebody was trying to reach out to me. My apologies about that. Number 3 is on career exploration, experimentation. This one you can connect with the internship programs that are out there in your industry. You can also check on job shadowing. I was just talking about the job shadowing there on Trust Bank, the internship programs that we do have. So reach out to these organizations like our bank, whereby you're able to, like for job shadowing, you are able to have that the feel of your particular career. You are able to be here with the bank, in the bank for like 2 weeks. With that, you are able to, you are shadowing that particular individual that you've been given, like a buddy. So in the process, you are able to learn, you are able to you're able to have a feel of the first-hand experience. So you'll make up your mind, is this the career that I really want? Is it something that is working for me? So by doing that, you're able to, either you detour or you're able to continue. So career exploration, very, very key. Check on those opportunities that are out there in different industries that you might be interested in. Another one is decision-making and career selection. Very, very key, because then you're able to make an informed decision based on your self-exploration, the self-assessment, based on the career search that you've done. If is it software engineering? Is it the assurance bit? Is it maybe IT risk? What does it entail? And then now you're able to make an informed decision. You've also gone and have a short stint in those organizations. You're able to see what they do on a day-to-day, and therefore you move to number 4, which is decision-making. You're able to make your decision, and then finally you're able to take action. You can't take action if you are just at home. You can take action when you're just seated at your desk in the schools. You cannot take on the university or the college. You are not taking any action. The action that you need to take is maybe through joining bodies like ISACA. You are able to network through the Stewart, like now the LinkedIn. I think Stewart has done a good job just talking about the organization and how they can help and how they can come in and if you partner with them. So taking action now moves you away from focusing on the inward. Now you start focusing on what do I need, the steps that you need to do. Number 1 for me that comes in handy that I'll always talk about is the networking bit of it. As the school alone or the university alone is never enough, or joining the institute like now the ISACA, very good start, especially when it comes to networking and all that. Another one also is the job search and the acceptance. So basically that takes us to the next step. You've already done all the steps, and then now you do the job search, which is now application. You go to the website of different organizations, different organizations, different industries, and you're able to make your applications, and then the interview and all that will follow if you're successful. But the most important part in the career planning steps are these 6 components. And move us to the next slide. So I'll just dwell on the self-exploration and assessment, like I've talked about it. You'll run value evaluations. You'll run your value, you'll go through your values. What are your values as a person? Maybe your value number 1 is excellence. Maybe your value number 1 is integrity. Those kind of things. And then that job that you're particularly maybe currently pursuing a degree on or certification on, like the CIS and all that, are they really speaking? Are they really aligned to your value system? Then you move to the interest. Run the interest again. What are your interests? The moment you know that you're able to align your interests into that particular job that you're looking at. So what really makes you tick? What are your interests? Even just the fact that your interest will be, maybe I want a life that I can balance my family and the work at the same time. Then you're able to look for a job that can support the interest that you have in life. Maybe your interest is in growth perspective. Does the job give you that growth component of it? Is there, or it's a job that you'll enter and there is no, there is no room or there is no space for that growth that you're looking for. So the interest should also speak to the job that, or the career that you're taking. Another one is a personality evaluation. Who am I? How do people describe me? How do I describe myself? Then does that job actually speak to who I am, sorry. So if I am introverted, then my job should also be in that line, because then the last thing you want is a misalignment. And misalignment will always lead to poor performance because I'm not able to deliver. That is not who I am. So who are you? Take that personality, take the personality tests. They are there on online. Most of them are free. Just log in, self-personality test and all that, and you'll be able to know who you are, and even they'll suggest to you in terms of what career space you should be in. Because again, you don't want just a career to pay your bills. You want a career that can actually, you can thrive in, a career that you enjoy. You sleep, talk HR, you sleep, whatever it is. If it's IT assurance, if it's IT in terms of software engineering, you speak the language of software engineers, you sleep and talk, there's that bit of that's what you enjoy the most because of your personality is aligned to that particular career. Next one is aptitude evaluation, a key component and a very, very important aspect when you're also self-exploring yourself and doing self-assessment about you, the person. Next, and the career research, very, very, very key. If you remember, those are the steps in the career planning. I'm just trying to make them simpler so that you are all on the same page. We talked about the 5 of them, and looking at the 5, I'm trying now to go deeper so that at least you are able to understand what they are. The second one was the career search. So list the roles and the industry based on your assessment. Now that you know who you are, now that I'm aware, I've taken the self-assessment test, I've done the aptitude, I've done my value system, I've looked at my personality. Now I know this actual career or the unit that I'm supposed to be focusing on, and what I want with my career, what I want with my life. Because the life that we want actually has a lot to do with our career as well. Because if you look at our career, they take a lot of time, or of our time, more than even our private life. Because maybe in the office, maybe let's talk about 8 to 9 hours, even 10 at times, depending with the organization and the industry. So with that, then you need to take a career that can actually make you thrive because it's speaking to your personality. So now that you know yourself, to do a career research based on speaking to your assessment, the results that you've gotten. You will compile a list of characteristics in the work environment also. You will research on responsibilities. You will also look at the advancement opportunities that are available, like a careers are very, very thin. Some career will give you a lot of, there's the cadence on are you somebody who wants to challenge status quo? Then some careers might not work for you. Narrow down your list of possible careers. Now that you know what you've come up with, looking at who you are in terms of your personalities, your values, your interests, and you've listed the organizations and the industries that you really want to work for. Maybe these are the fintech. Multinationals and all that in terms of together. IT is IT, yes. But also remember difference because we are speaking the IT language and all that. So it is from one component of saying this is my line, this is my area. Okay, I think I'll move to the next one. And I think, yeah, about that. And just take us back again. Sorry about that. Okay, there we are. Good, excellent. Number 5, there's something that I missed out that is very, very key. Narrow down your list of possible career and make sure you narrow down, because you'll come up with all the industries that you really want to work for, the companies that you want to work for, aligning them to your personality test that you've already taken, your value system test that you've already taken. So narrow down to that, and then also consult professional advice, consult your professionals, friends maybe, because then you are able to know, they'll be able to help you in terms of what the job entails exactly, because they're there, they're doing it, they've done it before, and they're able to also shape up your thinking, they're able to shape up your mindset. Maybe you might think that this particular role might be not that exciting, or it might be difficult. Everybody thinks maybe cybersecurity is not the best place to be, or it's difficult, you can never get it right. Maybe the other person who is currently in that space of cybersecurity or software engineering are able to give you a one-on-one in terms of what the job entails and how it is based on their stints and their experience. So it's good to network, and that's why networking that Stewart was talking about, very, very key, because you are able to actually have information that the book, the theory might not be giving you. Read the company reviews, very, very important, so that you are able also to make that informed decision. And let's move to the next slide. Good. Having done all that, you've known yourself, so there, and having known all that, you've done your self-exploration, you've done the career search, you've narrowed down to the companies that you want to work for, you've marked them, or you've linked them to who you are. Now it's time to do the career exploration in terms of run your values. So more or less of repeating, but now I'm going deeper in terms of what it entails. So if it's career exploration, you run your value evaluations based on the career that you want to take. We are saying they're matching. Move to the next step, which is now the job shadowing, one of them. Number 2 is volunteering, because not all organizations will have this job shadowing program. I think in the banking space for us, as stock of it's only DTB for now out of the 45. So you can imagine, assuming you are targeting the 45, then it means that you'll be narrowed if you're to look for job shadowing opportunities. How about you volunteering in some organizations? Because at the end of the day, you are looking at the experience and not just the pay. The fact that you'll have an experience, the fact that you'll have that stint, it will give you a better understanding of the career that you are just onboarding or just taking up. Next one will be on internships. Very, very key component in terms of exploration out for you to make up that decision of, am I in the right space? Do I need to change? What do I need to do differently? Another one is part-time work. You can be coming in maybe, let's say, 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day, and you're just able to learn, especially in the medical space. I think this happens a lot with the medics, but yeah, in the corporate space, again, you can also check out. Like I said, nothing is impossible as long as you have the right mindset. You can always knock and it shall be opened. Another key component is find a mentor in your industry. Very, very important. For us to thrive, you must have a mentor. Even Stewart or Mercy and everybody will tell you that for them to be where they are today, they must have had a mentor in their lives. And therefore, a mentor is very, very key. A mentor is somebody who has your best interest at heart. They are able to walk your journey with you. They are able to show you the ropes, and they're able to also bring you back on track when you're making those mistakes. So you need a mentor in your industry. Take on professional courses. These are the courses that are being offered with the professional bodies, like maybe, let's say, talk of ICASA, let's talk of ISPAC, let's talk those kind of bodies. So then you're able to not just be academics, not just having the academics background, but you're also broadening your understanding from a professional angle. Very, very key. Let's move to the next one. Decision-making and career selection. As you're winding up with the students, to get to the space of now the people who are already in the workplace. As you're winding up, weigh the advantages and disadvantages of all the options, go back to your previous research, review experiences so far. Now that you've interned, now that you've done the job shadowing stint, you've done your value systems, you've done your personality test, you're able now to consider alternatives. Do I need to take this route? Am I continuing with this particular career? What do I need to put in place? Is it the right career that I'm choosing for myself? Next one. Anne? Okay, continue, Anne, the next one. Good. So this takes us to, I'll be speaking now to the individuals who are already in the workplace. We are done with the students because we've talked, and even with the students also, this will just, if you can just stay in, this will give you the aspect, just take us back, Anne, just stay there. This will also give us more understanding of how to survive in the office space, because again, in the office space, there's a lot of things that you have to put in place for us to thrive. You don't just come to pay your bills. If you're in an organization that you're just there to pay your bills, there is a problem, there's a disconnect, and I'm sure you are not happy. It is time to do the right thing so that you get to thrive, you get to enjoy your workspace or your industry and your career. How to get promoted. Now that you've gotten the job, you've made up your decision, you've made a very good decision. You've decided on the career that you're taking, you've settled on that, you've already done your applications, you finally landed a good job, and you are now in the office space. So you are no longer in that searching mode. We've moved from there. We are in the office space. What to avoid for us to get promoted. Otherwise, you will get stuck in the same space over and over again. And then we find ourselves always having challenges in terms of moving up or moving even just laterally. So one is avoid office politics by any means. Avoid office politics. This is something that I see people struggling with, and they struggle with it because maybe a lack of knowledge or maybe just being in the wrong space at the wrong time. But you can avoid the politics by just focusing on your work, and in as much as possible, avoid those kind of issues. Another one is own your projects from the start to the end. If a project has been assigned to you, own it from the start to the end. Avoid the situation whereby you are always never completing any project. You are always in the group of the people who are always whining and the work is too much and all that. Remember, it is not about that organization or about that industry. It's about you, who you are, the person. So if you are somebody who's of high integrity, somebody who's of somebody who is of excellence, made of excellence, then automatically you will be able to walk through your projects. You will not be so focused on who is not doing the job and how they're not doing it better and how they are favored more than you are and how you are discriminated. I think you need to give your best at all times, because at the end of the day, when you do not conform to the industry, or you do not conform to that particular organization that maybe you're working for and your things are not running in a manner that they should, then you're able to build yourself even for a bigger, better role in your next career life, as opposed to thinking of how you're not being, how you're not happy. And also remember, when you're not happy, you're not doing the right thing. What happens is you take so much energy in the negativity, and when you have all that negativity, it actually impedes your career. It actually makes you even become more lousier, and you're not able to deliver. So the best is to give your best at all times. Things will always take shape. Anybody, any good mentor, myself, I can always tell you the truth. Out of experience, things will always take shape. Another one is keep learning. Continuous improvement is key for you to grow, for you to get promoted. Nobody has ever been promoted with the same knowledge they had last year, with the same knowledge they had when they entered the organization. Keep learning, guys. If you are a student today, you've entered the job market, you've secured the job, do not stop learning. In all those steps, continue learning. The continuous learning, actually, they normally say when you stop learning, that is the time you start dying. That's the truth. Next is maintain a positive attitude, no matter what. maintain a positive attitude. I'm not going to dwell on this. I'd already talked about it, whereby you maintain a positive attitude, always have the bigger picture in mind, never think about the industry, never think about the environment, be the change that you want to see. Because with that positive attitude, you're building yourself for the next level. Always, you're building yourself for the next level. But when you take the negativity, then you tend to dwarf yourself, you'll tend to cloud yourself, and you're not able to perform. You're not building yourself for the next level. Make your boss obsolete, number 5. You're not making your boss obsolete for him to go home. You're actually making his work easier. You are trying to go an extra mile all the time. If you're given a task, even when you're not given the task, try to know more than your boss. You're not doing it from a wrong perspective or a mischievous perspective. You are trying to be very, very, to me, I think I'll talk about just going an extra mile, making his work easier. For instance, maybe there is a presentation that you're supposed to do for the department. How about you raising your hand and just saying, I know there's this coming up, boss. How about if I can help you with this presentation? I think I can do this, whatever for you, put up the script for you. What do you think? Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, from experience, when you make your boss obsolete, nobody can shine, nobody can take away your shine. It will always be there. Your light will always be seen. Make your boss obsolete by just going that extra mile and keeping your positive attitude, because you are able to give so much as opposed to holding back. When you are holding back, you are not able to do so much. Have you ever seen those guys who will come to work 8 to 5 and that's it? No extra mile. And that's it. To me, I think that is not good enough. Go an extra mile by bit of number 5. Summarize your so much wordy documents. If you can summarize your work maybe by visual images when you're doing those presentations, when it's a departmental meeting for those people already in the organizations, those meetings that take place. Try to summarize your work. Try to use the graphs. Try to use the bar charts. People are able to connect with you. You're able to live lasting memories and all that. And that's why people get promoted, because they're able to say, wow, if you need this, please check with this person. He's so knowledgeable. He has these graphs, he has these bar charts and all that. So you are known for something. To speak team members' performance. We tend to take all that credit. We forget to actually everybody along. Traits that can be seen in us. You cannot hide. She has the team spirit. She wishes everybody the best, and you have that clean heart. And if you have the opposite, ladies and gentlemen, it can also be seen through you. You are the same person who will talk about, this is my work. I've taken it. Those people who will talk of I think, whatever, I hereby say this. No. If you're a team member working in a team, always use the we. It's never about I, irrespective of whether you've done the work alone or not. Always carry the team members together. And especially when somebody has done so well, be the first one to just say, I worked with so-and-so from this department and this is what we want to share. In as much as you're the one who's sharing, we want to share with you. Trust me, somebody's watching somewhere, and that is how promotion normally happens. Because then what is looked at is this is somebody who is growth, individual growth. Next one, show pride in your work. When you're proud of your work, the whole world will see. Show pride in your work, into how from the excellence bit of it, the integrity out of it, and that's what I talked about. I will not dwell on that. So show pride in your work, and you cannot show pride in your work if you're negative. If you're always whining, you are the people always in those corridors during lunchtime. You are the ones who are the water point. You collect water more than anybody else. Those guys, you can type if you know them. Please talk to them and try to cascade the good vibes and how they can also make their life better, especially in this career journey. This is where we spend most of our active life or active because we work between, so yes, we need to thrive in our careers. Ask for feedback. This is another way of getting promoted. This is another way of climbing up the ladder. This is another way of growing. This is another way of developing yourself. You cannot improve if you're never getting feedback. Feedback will never find you. Go look for the feedback. Look for your colleagues, look for your team members, even outside your department. Check out, how am I doing? How is that? You know, do I make an impact? How can I make an impact? How can I work? How can I help you? So those kind of feedback, somebody is able to tell you, oh no, Lillian, you need to improve on this space. You need to do ABCD. Actually, I think you need to go back. Sorry, you need to go back even to school to learn this. So with that feedback, you are able to shape yourself. You are able to align yourself with your career goals and even your aspirations. That takes us to the next slide. And I hope I'm not too slow or too fast. Good.
We are good.
Excellent. Thank you, Anne, for that feedback. Now that, talk about feedback. I'm very big on feedback. And I think you can tell by now. It's just to ensure that you are working together. I'm not alone in the organization. I'm not alone in the department. And the higher you go, the more feedback is required, ladies and gentlemen. You might be walking the journey alone at the top. Everybody else is behind there. You don't know what is taking place. You need to leave your ivory towers, ivory space to come down to the people and get the feedback. Otherwise, you'll be on your own. Now that you've gotten the promotion, or rather you are thriving in your career, what are the skills that will make you stay in that space? Or what are the skills that will build you up, develop you up? One is humility. Skills to get you through your career, whether you are the level of the entry level, you're in the mid-level, you are the top tier. Ladies and gentlemen, students, I'm speaking today. Humility will take you places because you are able to connect with everyone. I think we've lost the chat, but not to worry. I think we've lost the presentation. Not to worry, we'll continue as Anne is working on that. Technology came with its challenges, but we are okay. Good. Humility is key. Why it is key? Because you are able to cut across, you are able to connect, to interact with each and every person from the gates, that is the main gates, to the reception, to your department. You do not have any hindrances, or you do not have any challenges. You can you are able to, I think Cordero is co-hosting. Oh, sorry, I was just trying to read something. You are able to cut across because of that humble nature that you do possess. Some of us, humility comes to us naturally. Some of us, we struggle with the humility. So if you're struggling with humility, it's time to learn that skills. It's time to learn that trait. It's a very rare, not rare, but it's a trait that you can learn. It's a trait that you can actually acquire. But for us that do have it naturally, again, it's a trait that you need to keep polishing. You cannot say it comes naturally and therefore you're doing nothing about it. You also need to nurture it from time to time, because you'll get into spaces that actually might take you off from who you are. So remember to always stay humble for you to succeed, especially at the top and even at the mid level. Confidence, very, very key. You cannot succeed without confidence, because confidence is the attitude or the trait that will open doors for you. Confidence is the trait that will actually make you take that courageous and the bold step into your next level. For instance, maybe you don't feel like you're not growing. Without confidence, you'll not be able to even have a conversation or to have a meaningful conversation with your leader. But if you're confident, you're able to say, hey, I believe I can do this and this, and therefore I'm able to build the organization as I build myself. But if you do not have confidence, even when you have so much talent, you have all these brilliant ideas, you're not able to bring them forth. And therefore, nobody will ever know what you're built of. So it's good to have that confidence. It's good to have that courage. If you do not have the confidence naturally, please work on it. These are traits that are that can be nurtured. These are traits that can be trained. So please, as I told you before, as I talked about finding a mentor will come in very handy. A coach will come in very handy. A role model and all that. Communication, very, very key. The way you communicate. Communication is very key, because you are able to articulate your ideas. You are able to articulate maybe even your concerns. You are able to articulate your views and all that. So communication actually also make you thrive in your career. It can make you go to the next level that you are aspiring to get to. Resilience, very key. Number 4. Have you ever seen these people who are always, like you will hit a snack, you'll eat somewhere, you'll be like in a space that you are not really familiar of, but at the same time, you are able to keep pushing. So that is keep pushing, you are able to keep challenge. When you face an obstacle, do not give yourself pity mode, the self-pity mode, pushing be something that can take us to the next level. Resilience prepares you to the next level and so forth. Authenticity, when you're through your eyes and even through everything. Authenticity cannot be. You cannot today and tomorrow you're saying something different. You will lose side of you, authentic nature of you, and nobody wants to deal with somebody authentic. Nobody wants to deal with somebody who's lost credibility. Authenticity is about credible are you, even at that lower cadre, even at that middle cadre and the top tier. And especially at the leadership level, be authentic, always be credible. But again, even at the lower cadre, you have to be somebody who's credible, somebody who can be, you stand for your word, whatever you practice actually we talk about. I can't on this. I think this is the right, it's a current word that is always a buzzword, and you all know what it means. You have to be flexible. You have to be somebody who has that agency in mind, and you cannot have agency, you cannot have speed if you have the agility component of it. Are you able to adapt to in terms of the current changes that we are seeing? We live in a bunny world. A bunny world is now worse than VUCA. I'm sure all of us will know what VUCA is. Now, VUCA. Bunny is business, anxiety, non-linear situation. Bunny I is incomprehensible. So we live in a world that is incomprehensible. We live in a world that is brittle, very brittle. And therefore, having that adaptability mindset will always keep and as non-linear, ups and downs all the time. So yes, that bunny world, exceeding it if you're commercially aware, you how space in terms of operating it. What you are really connected with industry and the organization. Connect all. You can be somebody who are able to work with everyone. That is how you can thrive. Make sure you're able not just interpreting, but you're also able to execute based on the analytical skills that you do possess. Digital skills, something that we just have to have right now. And I'm speaking to the right people. I'm talking to the techies, I'm speaking to the techies. So I'm really proud that we are all having those digital skills that are necessary. I'm happy that I'm speaking to the right people. Moving to the next one, and we are moving to the next one. Moving to the next slide. What conversation should we be having with your mentors? Yes, Anne is back. So we continue. How do I get back on track? And just slower there where you are is good. How do I get back on track? Should I make a mistake? Because things will happen, guys. And I'm just preparing you, especially for those who are still not yet there. And even look at how to get back on track. Should I make the mistakes? Because I believe you cannot just be 100% on track all the time. Things will happen. You'll have those days that you've made a board paper that you're not so proud about, maybe because of 1, 2 things. Maybe there's a particular chart that is missing. So those small mistakes, and even at your level, leave alone the board papers and all that, even maybe at a level of an entry level of an IT officer, maybe there's a report that you're supposed to share with your leader. You are not on time, maybe you are slightly late. Those kind of things will happen. So what do I do? Number one, try not to take things personally, because things will happen, and just know that you are not the first one and you will never be the last one. So by knowing that, and then you're able to know that this has happened, and therefore I'm not being put on spot, or I'm not taken to task because the person is so personal with me. It is a mistake, and therefore dwell on the mistake. The individual, your leader, is dwelling on the mistake. It's got nothing to do with personality issue or taking things personally. Never take things personally. You are not the first one, neither will you be the last one, and therefore it's got nothing to do with you. It's more of the mistake. Let's dwell about the mistake and let's correct the mistake. If you take it personally, ladies and gentlemen, you will not be able to correct the mistake, because you will be saying, this person doesn't like my face, this person doesn't like my work, I am a threat to this person, and all those nasty things that we start to imagine. As we're imagining these nasty things, what happens? You clog your thinking and you're not able to do much. Acknowledge your mistake and apologize, ladies and gentlemen. You need to acknowledge your mistake. You need to apologize. Number 3, own it. Never blame anyone. Don't say, I'm late because maybe, I was working for someone, I was doing normally very, very cooperative, especially if you are owning up to your problems or your mistakes, as opposed to when you take blame games and you want to shift the blames or the mistakes to one person to the other. Number 4, ensure that this mistake does not repeat again, because the moment you do that, then it means you are not actually sorry. And then we will move from the mistake to you. We will start saying, actually, Lillian has a problem. This is the second time, the third time Anne is doing this. This is the 4th time Raphael is doing this. So for sure, Raphael has an issue, or Tom has an issue, Mercy has an issue. Make sure that this does not happen. Then it's no longer a habit. We will not look at you as somebody who has a personality issue or has work ethics issues, because it happened once and therefore we are moving to the next thing. Look for quick wins. How do I come back on track if I've messed up? If I've made a blunder, if I've made a mistake, I've just done something that is not volunteer maybe to outside my work, outside my deal, and just make sure that you're trying to making up for it. If it was a gentlemen in the house, am I speaking? I'm sure you will know what to do. Same to the work. From my time and more, or maybe going an extra mile, you'll be able to go back on track. And that brings us to the end of my presentation. what and I want body to through the to read it. Somebody with the mic.
I think I can read it. Believe in yourself and all that
Thank
you
you.
are. Know that there is something inside you that is greater than any obstacle. By C. Larson.
Go for it. Thank you, Anne. If you believe in yourself and know that word, know that there's something inside obstacles, ladies and gentlemen, you can become anything that you put your mind and soul into. Thank you so much. I leave you with this video it's 1.5 minutes. We just watch it, then we wind up for questions. If there are any. The video. Do you have the sound? And the sound is missing, so I think we'll just close to take up any questions. In this world of agility, we will move very fast and we are able to adapt and move to the next stage. If there's another letdown, but I believe we are all.
Yes, I hope you can be able to hear me, Lillian.
And loud, yes.
Okay, I just wanted to ask the questions. So just confirming if she's online so that I can read some of the questions that have been asked. I think the first question from Daniel Odhiambo is, when applying for a job, could you attach your attachment in your CV? Okay. So I think. Sorry, I think I might need to phrase that question. Oh, hi, Lillian. This is Barbara.
Yes, Barbara. Then you're asking a job.
Sorry. Yes, let me just ask a different question. How does one apply for industrial attachment or internships? I think that's one of the questions that has been asked.
Barbara, I can also see Stewart would like to answer the first question live.
So that's
okay. I'm sorry, Lillian, you keep breaking.
Our minds, they drain out.
I think there's a network.
Can we share now the
different?
Sorry, Lillian, he keep breaking.
Barbara?
I think
yes.
If we can try the
niambie chenye inasemwa huko, I can't hear.
I'll take the strength to say.
Okay. Stuart would like to be able to answer that question. So if that's okay, please, Stuart, if you can be able to answer.
Yeah, just while Lillian's getting sorted out. So this is why, again, your LinkedIn profile matters. Because remember, on your profile, you can actually put in things that attest to your credibility. Not only just your CV, yes, on your LinkedIn profile, like I said, you can download your CV and you have it on your phone with you, ready to apply or share with anyone at any given time. But what's more, you can put rich media that can either point to your website, point to work you've done, show the scope of some of the results that you've achieved for people. This all helps to bring to life your skills, your experience, and your credibility. So yes, still have the written CV for submission, but of course on LinkedIn, you know that you have an opportunity to bring that all to life. If you've worked for a big company, maybe it's Diamond Trust Bank, and they have a video, a 2-minute video that outlines their organization. You might add that to your work experience whilst you were interning at Diamond Trust, but you want to be able to tell a story and you're using it to educate your network. I hope that helps answer the question.
Yes, that actually helps answer the question. Lillian, are you back?
I believe I'm back. I hope so. Am I back?
Yes, you are.
Okay, good. Sorry about that. I think today is not just a good day here. And Stewart, thank you for chiming in. Just to add on to what Stewart has talked about, I'll slightly differ from him a bit, but good. From the LinkedIn perspective, 100% agree with Stewart. But at the same time, should you be taking the angle of the route of maybe website, or maybe you're applying directly on the portal that we provided? We might have not, it depends with the, some will not ask for the attachment based on the size of what they're looking at, size of the papers or the documents. So attachments may not be very, very good idea if you ask me from a recruiter perspective. Most of the rather summarize from the job profile, you are able to articulate all those achievements where you work, all that. Therefore, you condense in one paper, the attachments that and you secure the interviews, you're able to all your documents, all your testimonials, certificate, you as professional. Most of the time you'll find many organizations, especially banks, I'll speak on behalf of banks, we tend to be, size of the receipt are very much so you keep wanting feedback, wanting anything. It's because you have so much information that is rejected by the system of that organization. For us, most of the time, you get candidates are getting bouncing emails because of the large size of that the gentleman. If you're not using a structured way of sieving in the idea, then try and make sure that the CV is well documented. Do not attach the attachments. The attachments will come in handy once you secure the slot for interviews. The second, apply for internships. As opposed to waiting for internship announcements to go out, because not all organizations will announce. I would rather you go to the site and make those applications. I'd rather you just do random applications, because they do work, even for us. Not that the people who are coming to the organization, or the interns that we get are the job shadowers, are all because we've gone to those universities for the career talks and all that. Not at all. Most of the times we'll do our database. The people who just applied, and we go there randomly and pick the individuals who are actually much from a recruiter perspective or the HR perspective. I'll advise that do not wait for those advertisements or announcements. Reach out to those organizations. Besides reaching out to the websites or their email addresses, their portals, also make a point of networking. Ladies and gentlemen, at times, just networking on those WhatsApp walls that you do. Can I get internship in this industry? Or whoever has a connection. I've done that. whereby I've seen an individual, somebody is aggressive on a certain wall that I'm a member, and I can see they're just, very bold. Student says, I'm so I'm doing or for theater, whatever. I'm looking for this specific line of interest. That's it. You'll take that person. If assuming there are many, I don't know, but it happens. Most of the time, somebody will reach out. Ladies and gentlemen, knock, and it shall be opened. Ask people if you can. It is never that hard. And if you've been a follower of Steve Jobs, and I think you still follow his talk, he talks about that a lot, whereby just reach out to people, knock those doors, they'll be opened. I don't think there's people are that mean. People are not mean if you reach out. Majority will always open their doors. I think he shared his story on how he got to go, somebody just, because he reached out to that MD, the MD was able to just say, you know what, I'm not choosing these, go and practice. So yes, it happens. I've seen that on a WhatsApp wall, whereby because somebody is courageous, you tend to just say, yeah, why not? Come to Diamond Trust Bank, let's work together, or let's interact if there's an opportunity. Thank you. I hope I answered the second question as well.
Yes, you answered the question. I think that will be it for now. We have 5 minutes short break, then we can be able to continue with the session. Thank you so much, Lillian Ngala, for being able to walk us through the what as students, what we need to do, even as people that in the job market, what we need to do in order to be able to even get further in our job, and also what tricks we can be able to take. So thank you very much. I hope you can be able to join us. Yes.
Barbara, I've seen a question here that I would want us to know. It's coming from Wendy Misheni on the chat. Wendy is saying she likes the point of making the boss obsolete, but the question that she has is, how would you deal with a passive-aggressive boss? The bosses who might maybe feel like, you are a threat or something like that. I think that's what she means from that context. Wendy, we are together. Well, Barbara, if you allow me, can I just answer that?
Yes, that's okay.
Thank you, Barbara. So, Wendy, what comes to my mind is when you have such a boss leadership style or empathetic leadership style, those two styles, if a boss is missing the two, then it might be difficult for you to practice that obsoleteness or going an extra mile. But at the same time, Wendy, it's very much achievable. It's very much doable. What you do, Wendy, one, is never surprise your boss. If that is the kind of a boss that maybe you could be having, or maybe in future, they never surprise such an individual. Those individuals do not like surprises. Those individuals, what they prefer is work with them, whereby you are able to say, hey, boss A, or let's say his name is Mary. Hi, Mary or Tom. I'm thinking I can do this for you. What do you think? I was thinking maybe this is excellent the way you've done it, but I wanted to also add you with this. I don't know. Out of that, Wendy, they are able to see that actually you're appreciating their work and you're not surprising them, and therefore you do not want to take their job. You're actually complementing what they already have. Some bosses actually like surprises. I myself, I believe in surprises, because then it means that you have the best interest of the department at heart. It means that you've gone outside, you're thinking outside your space. You're one person who is passionate and just, some people might not like that too much energy, and that too much energy might rub them the wrong way. Always work with those individuals. Go ahead and mention to them what you want to do and why you think it will actually add value to them and to the department. So it's not about you, Wendy. The moment they realize it might, because they might think it's about you. So just tell them, maybe this is how I was thinking we could do our reporting board. What do you think? I've done it before somewhere. Always include them. Always work with them. Do not surprise them. And always make sure you want them to shine, not you. And actually, when you give them, tell them, I want you to go present. I'm not even presenting. So it's about them. By doing that, Wendy, you're actually nurturing yourself. You're actually broadening your understanding. And you, at the end of the day, you'll have a very win-win situation, because your boss is winning by shining, but you are also winning because you are nurturing your skills. You are sharpening those core competencies that you're working on. And even you're getting better in how you're supposed to do those things. So yes, do not surprise them. Do not surprise them. Work with them, inform them in good time, and also make sure that it's about them and they know that you're adding value to them and to the department. Thank you, Wendy, and good luck, Wendy.
Thank you, Lillian. That was a very good answer. So I think, as I'd explained, you're having a 5-minute session. Then we can be able to continue with the rest of the agenda. So we'll have a brief session where we'll be reviewing in terms of mentorship. We'll be looking at One in Tech, the scholarship. Then we'll also be looking at how to become a member. So please don't end the meeting. Please join us after the 5 minutes. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, everyone. It was nice having you. Asante sana. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you, Anne. And ISACA Secretariat at large. Asante sana. Thank you, participants. It was nice having you. Have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you.
To career success
and meet your professional.
We are ISACA.
We are ISACA.
We are ISACA.
We are ISACA.
For more than 50 years, ISACA has leveraged the expertise of its global members to drive innovation and education.
Our purpose.
Our purpose.
Our purpose.
We enable the positive potential of technology.
We are a learning community.
We are a learning community.
We are a learning community.
ISACA equips IT professionals with the knowledge, credentials, education, and community
to progress their careers and transform their organizations.
We help you find your pathway to career success
and meet your professional goals.
and we connect you to a global community that can inspire you to innovate.
From our globally respected certifications
to our timely research,
worldwide educational events,
industry-leading frameworks and resources,
and our continuous opportunities for thought leadership and connecting with peers.
ISACA helps professionals lead their organizations and grow in their roles.
We drive progress.
We drive progress.
We drive progress.
We provide learning and resources to enhance performance for organizations.
We ensure teams are successful
and that our members excel as leaders in their workplace.
We are committed to delivering guidance around emerging trends and how they will change how you work.
We are global.
We are global.
We are global.
ISACA has a presence in 188 countries, including more than 220 chapters worldwide.
Our membership of more than 150,000 members
are in roles related to
information and cybersecurity,
audit,
governance,
assurance,
risk,
and privacy.
We rely on our global network of volunteer thought leaders
to provide expert insights,
and we share them widely.
We're always learning, and we are always growing in size and in knowledge.
This diversity in thought makes us all better.
We are the future.
We are the future.
We are the future.
As the tech field transforms, so do we. ISACA offers relevant, continuous education and resources,
and is investing in the next generation of IT leadership.
We face gaps in workforce skills and opportunities.
And we are dedicated to find solutions.
In 2020,
ISACA launched One in Tech,
a philanthropic foundation that supports IT education and career pathways
for under-resourced, underrepresented populations.
We are ISACA.
We are ISACA.
We are ISACA.
We provide community, purpose, and learning, which leads to transformation.
Transformation for individuals, organizations, our industry, and the world.
Join us in enabling the positive potential of technology.
We are global. My name is Arnulfo and I am from Monterrey.
My name is Chauna Zororo and I am from South Africa.
My name is Laura Lees and I am from Sydney, Australia.
My name is David Samuelson and I am a global citizen.
We are ISACA.
And I value being part of the ISACA global family.
And ISACA has provided tremendous opportunities for me to grow in my thought leadership skills.
And my life has been enormously enriched through my over 25-year membership of ISACA.
And I'm a member of a global organization that inspires confidence and enables innovation in a fast-changing technological world.
We are ISACA, and I send warm regards to you all.
Thank you, Kevin. I think we can now start the next session. So we'll have two sessions, then we'll have a Q&A session, then we'll be able to close off the webinar. So the speaker for the next session is Kevin Tui, who's the ISACA, who is part of the Special Programs Committee. He'll be talking to us about the Kenya Students Membership. So he'll be making a presentation based on that. Kevin, are you ready?
Yes, I can stop. I can share video, but I'll go on.
Okay.
Let me just share my screen. Okay. Can confirm that you can see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Awesome, awesome. So my name is Kevin Tui. I'm a member of the Special Programs Committee within ISACA Kenya chapter. And my main point of presentation today is to tell you why you should become a student member. And even after you've become you've gone on and graduated, you can grow to become a recent graduate member and even a professional member. So the main point, as you've already been mentioned, for example, as a member, you get access to opportunities such as such a forum like the Virtual Students Forum, an opportunity to attend conferences, evening talks, lunch hour talks. You also get to an opportunity to learn. There's a lot of certificates and certifications that can pursue. And at this point, you can also learn from professionals. So as you can see, this is also an opportunity for you to meet with potential employers. So last week was ISACA Volunteer Appreciation Week. So as an ISACA volunteer, I got to attend a certain online forum where we were learning from members who have joined the ISACA Hall of Fame because of their great contributions within ISACA. And they were mentioning about those, they got to a point where one Hall of Famer said that she quit one of her jobs just because they could not value her work with regards to ISACA volunteering, because every time they're saying, what are you doing? You're wasting your time, you should be doing at work. So he said that the moment they did that, it is also through the ISACA professional association that she was able to get to a point where she joined an organization that values her work with regards to volunteering. So you can see that is the point where in other places and also even here in Kenya, that people value the part of being part of an association. So as I already mentioned, some of the benefits is you get access to a professional network. There are a lot of opportunities that you usually get. For example, ISACA has a current program going on with regards to that is exclusive to members called the ISACA Mentorship Program. I had an opportunity to be part of the program when it was being piloted, and I was mentored by an ISACA Gold member from South Africa, and he guided me, gave me a wealth of knowledge with regards to branding myself and putting up the kind of skills that I would like to be known for. And I can tell you that some of these opportunities that you get, for example, you can be able to choose even the matching that you want. For example, if you want to be matched to a professional within the ISACA Kenya chapter who you look up to, or even a certain region, as they register as a mentor, you also register as a mentee in the program, and you take advantage of this kind of a 6-month structured kind of a mentorship that is part of the ISACA mentorship program. There's also savings. For example, anytime you access the ISACA platform and you get a certain offering, for example, for a resource, a book, or a webinar, or even a summit, you can be able to get a discounted price, not only just as a member, but even as a student member. There's greater savings, especially when there are these forums. And again, as you've mentioned, the amount of knowledge. For example, I just listened from a certain attendee who was telling me, thank you. I was telling them, thank you for joining the session. He said, no, thank you for giving me the opportunity to learn and giving us an opportunity to participate in the forum. So what should you do? What should you do to become a student member? First of all, to mention is all the registration is done through ISACA, the global platform, the ISACA online platform. So when you open the ISACA website, you'll be able to see these, you'll be able to see a platform. For example, let me just stop my share, then I just show you that so that it doesn't appear. I'll just do a quick explanation as I explain that. Let me, so that it doesn't look okay. So let me see. So that is, so you just go to ISACA .org, or you can just Google ISACA and you're going to find the platform. So once you're here, you're going to see this top number, and you can first of all sign up. For example, if you don't have an account, you can try to sign in, or you can just join. You can see under join, you can choose different types of join. So as a student, you can choose student join. And then once that loads, so you're going to get to a point where you're going to see this store.isaca.org. So if you don't have an account, you're going to be taken through a registration process. So first of all, you find a login page. So you can just create your new account here and you fill in all your details. And you also remember that registering in the account registering and getting an account does not amount to membership. There's a step-by-step process that you're going to get through, and you're going to become a member. So, and also glad to announce that for 2023, we have a limited number of free student membership codes that we are going to have a separate session and invite all the webinar attendees to take part and see whether they can take advantage of this opportunity for a limited time to become a student member for free for 2023. So so before I get off this screen, there's what Preston, our CEO, had mentioned about certifications that are very relevant for students. So when you go to the platform and you go to credentialing, so I'll just go under that. So you can see there are different professional level kind of a certification. We have CISA, CZIM, CRISC, CDIPSE, and Seagate. Then we also have different certificates. So when you do a collection of certain certificates, for example, you can become certified in emerging technologies. Let me just get to that point. Let me just show you that those certificates. So when you go to credentialing and you choose, for example, maybe I can choose SET. I can just search here, SET certification. So I can see SET. Certified in emerging technologies. So this certification, you can do it bite-sized. What does that mean? You don't have to do one exam and you're done. You do four certificates. So there's cloud fundamentals, IoT fundamentals, blockchain fundamentals, and AI fundamentals. So when you do, each of them has their own separate kind of assessment. And when you combine all these, you're able to do one kind of an assessment and become certified in emerging technologies, which is there's also the certified in emerging technologies, and there's also ITCA, ITCA certification. So that is also another certification that you can do as a student. So it's called Information Technology Certified Associate, apart from Certified in Emerging Technologies. This has five certificates: Computing Fundamental Certificate, Network and Infrastructure Fundamentals, Cybersecurity Fundamentals, Software Development Fundamentals, and Data Science Fundamentals. And as you can see, as you work towards your ITCA certification, you gain a lot of wealth of knowledge in all these kind of areas. Lillian mentioned about career research, getting to know, experimenting, and by the time you finish all this, you will get to know, do you want to become a data scientist? Do you want to become a cybersecurity expert, a network and infrastructure expert, or a software developer? And all these, once you finish these certificates, you can work towards your ITCA. And as Faith, our special programs director, is going to be mentioning during her presentation, when you gain some of the opportunities such as scholarship, you gain access to these courses. But again, even without that, you can come and start off with the certificates. You can check on the study materials and understand more. So all these resources are going to be sharing to you after the session, to all the webinar attendees, together with the presentations. So finishing up on my slide presentation, we just go back to that. So remember for the 2023, for those who are going to be taking advantage of the membership codes, we're going to provide you with an attestation letter that will confirm that you're from the chapter, that confirms you're a student of the university that you're in, and that is the one that is going to stand in for any kind of this proof of enrollment, either a letter from the university, a copy of his class schedule, or the transcript. So you'll not need this during this limited time when we'll be giving this opportunity, but we're going to provide you with the details of how to do that. Again, there are different levels of membership. There is professional membership, recent graduate membership, and student membership. So what I've been mentioning about is student membership. So beyond the codes, always remember that as a new member, the fees, which are very subsidized, is $30. And again, after every year, you need to renew for $30. You can't maintain student membership for more than 6 years. So that is the way for ISACA to just show that you cannot be perpetually forever a student member. So that is it. Always remember that as a student in area of information systems, business administration, accounting, IT, cybersecurity, engineering, and as well as computer science, and in any kind of areas, you can see right now, there is also the emerging technologies. Everyone who is interested in those areas can become a student and become a student member, and can become a part of our ISACA global student community. As I mentioned, as I finish up, also the ISACA student groups. So if you don't have an ISACA student group at your campus, you have the opportunity to start something within your group, become the leader that you want to be, and practice your leadership skills. So always remember that. Always remember that you can form a student group if there's none at your university. And there's more details about this. You can always contact the chapter to get to know how you can be able to follow these up. And we'll guide you through the whole process until you get officially recognized. So that is that. I'd like you to get involved. I started out as a student member. I've grown through and become a member of the committee, and also been able to create networks and fundamental connections within the chapter. So that is what I can be able to tell you from my part, and I look upon you to take advantage. All these comes to you by taking action. So show up and take action. That's all I can say. So we'll share the contacts once we're done with the session. And I think with that, over to you, back to you, Barbara. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. For the next session, this will be, our presenter will be Faith Wawira, our director for special programs. I think, Faith, are you available? She'll be taking us through one intake. So Kevin had mentioned in terms of the scholarship, when you want to be able to pursue a certificate, you'll be able to get a scholarship based on one intake. So we also have support for both for students who are trying to get certifications in cybersecurity related. Welcome,
Yes.
Faith.
Barbara, are you able to hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, so I would like to request Kevin to share my presentation. If you have it near you, Kevin. Thank you. Yes, yeah, so I think it has been a very exciting session so far. And I just want to confirm, maybe type on the chat if you have learned something. Maybe just say something on the chat so that you're able to get a little bit of feedback. How has the session been for you so far? So if you've learned something, maybe just type, yes, I have learned something. Just engage, let's engage a little bit so that we're able to see who is in the call today. So just keep on typing as yes, so we see you. Like Kevin has mentioned, we are issuing students codes for free membership. I see you, Godfrey. Yes, you've learned something. I see Juma, you've learned something as well. Katiku Munyao, yes, you say the session has been amazing. Yeah, so we really do appreciate you for creating the time. We are really working with Daniel. I see you, Edward. You've learned something, and I hope this is going to be a game changer as you begin your career. So I am not able to put my video on, but yeah. So I'm going to take you, Aisha. I see you. You're saying it has been informative. Margaret, thank you so much, Mark. So I'm going to take you through one of the ways that we are using to elevate our students. We understand that when you're trying to push your career higher, sometimes it can be a bit expensive, and sometimes due to barriers here and there. And like our theme has been breaking barriers. So we want to make sure we're able to elevate as much students as we can. And through the One in Tech scholarship, we give students opportunities to be able to ease a little bit of a bit of your financial burden, so that you're able to make your academic journey more manageable. So so ISACA Global has an you'll forgive me for the backgrounds in the house, the noises behind. I am at home and my children are just hovering around, so I hope you are able to hear me. Okay, so we have a scholarship program through One in Tech, whereby we help students be able to pursue cyber-related and tech-related degrees. Last year, we issued 500 USD to 8 students, and I don't know whether they have been able to join us today. We gave there was Kafue Wawero, there was Jennifer Ndegwa, there's Joshua Chalo, there was Sharon Kinya, there was Maureen Ogwang, Lorraine Waroinge, Jean Mary Onyuro, and Cynthia Buga. They were coming from, I think, KCA University, Strathmore University, KU, Catholic University, that were able to apply and receive the scholarship. They were awarded the scholarship. So what I'm saying is, ISACA, we not only, we are not only engaging you to join as student members and be able to access various resources, you're also being able to finance your career. So every next slide, Kevin. So we're able to give you opportunities to be able to advance your career. Kevin, move to the next slide. Yeah, so I just want to explain a little bit of how the funding works. So the funding comes in two parts. So one of the things, one of the part is that you're able to be provided a college, university, academic tuition, whereby some fee is paid to ease your college tuition. And the other one is you get a career building bundle, whereby you get 1 year ISACA membership, student membership. You also get 1 year annual ISACA chapter membership, the local chapter here in Kenya. You also get free ISACA conference registration. So in ISACA Kenya chapter, we usually have 2 main conferences. We have an annual conference like the one that has just ended last month. And we also have governance, risk and compliance, which is upcoming. So you see, once you're a beneficiary of our scholarships, we want you to be able to engage with the professionals out there. So you're able to have a paid for opportunity to attend the 5 days conference for free, so that you're able to engage and network. So you also get free options for ISACA training courses and prep material. You've seen the trainings that Kevin has showed you. We also have local trainings that have been developed by our trainers, very, very good. And then you also get to stipends also to be able to travel to these conferences. And also you get a lot of discounts for certifications like ICTA, you've been explained to by Kevin. And again, there's the mentorship, and you also get to have a career pathway, advancement and guidance. Next slide, Kevin. So I see students are engaging, and I see Frederick Odhiambo saying, this is one of the best training sessions I've attended this year. Keep it up, it's so insightful. Thank you for the opportunity from Mutema. And as we continue, perhaps you can maybe type in the chat which country that you're coming from. So partner scholarship features. So this is how it works. So one of the things that we look at is to be able to identify with the demographic, which is, we are able to check I mean, one of the criteria that I used is being able to check students who are coming from underrepresented or underserved areas of, I mean, within the technology fields. This could be through gender, race, or socioeconomics, or maybe you're the first person to be able to attend college. And then you must be pursuing a degree with a focus to a cyber-related career. And then we also are able to, you need to be able to agree that you will be committed to continuation. I mean, you'll be committed to stay in contact with One in Tech for follow-up and to be able to track your scholarship impact, because the thing is, we don't want to give you money. We don't want to fund your scholarship or to fund your schooling and then leave you there. We want to be able to know where are you in your career progress 5 years from now, 10 years from now. So you have a team behind you that is tracking your progress and ensuring that you're scaling up the ladder and you're able to continuously break the barriers. And if your aim is to become a CTO or to become a CEO for the next 10 years, when you're a beneficiary of this scholarship, you have a team behind you that is following you and tracking your success and making sure the resources that that you require are the resources that you require, you have them. So our next scholarship opens in June. Please be on the lookout. The ISACA team that is on the scholarship team that is on the communications docket, they usually communicate this widely, so be on the lookout on the social sites. And if you have attended this webinar, definitely you'll get a direct communication from the team when our scholarships open. So make sure you apply. They're very competitive, yes, but just put yourself out there. Make sure you're putting a compelling application, and we'll see you on the other side. Make sure you participate. So one thing I would like to leave you with is that the journey of life is filled with ups and downs, but it's the challenges and the obstacles that we face that shape us into who we are. So let's embrace the challenges that you might face. Make sure you learn from them, and also make sure that you use them to become a better version of yourselves. Always remember, it's not about the destination, but it's about the journey itself that matters. So thank you so much, and I would like to hand it over to Barbara, and if there are any questions, kindly ask. I think this is the point where we want to handle as many questions as possible. Thank you so much, and back to you, Barbara.
Okay. Thank you very much, Faith. I think for any questions, please, I think we can take 2 minutes to just give you time to be able to ask any questions that you might have. Please just write it down on the chat before we now close off the session. So I'm giving you 2 minutes. If you have any questions, please be able to post them. I think we're getting a lot of feedback for you, Faith. Faith Katua has said, thank you for Faith for the great presentation. Okay, I think we have one question. Oh yes, Kevin, I've seen it. Thank you. How will I apply for the scholarship? Is it through email or web?
So once the scholarships are announced, there is a portal that through the communication, there's a portal that a link will be shared, and you'll use the portal to be able to answer the questions that are prompted. Yeah, and then after you've finished your application, you just submit it on the web. So yeah, so it's through the web, Daniel.
And don't use the telephone number 2051-00001. It's been disconnected because we moved over to another office.
Okay.
Use the mobile number.
Oh, sorry. I think Preston was trying to indicate that you use the mobile number. There's another question. Do you offer study materials for the certifications?
Okay, that question I will let Preston, the CEO of ISACA Kenya chapter, to be able to answer that. I think he's able to provide a little bit of more information, but I can answer the question that has been asked by Muhonza. For the scholarships, is it for everyone or just Kenyans? So what is required? So the way ISACA Global does it, each chapter is able to participate through their chapter, their local chapter. So you be on the lookout on what your chapter is doing, but we can also be able to provide details because we could be in contact. Maybe Muhonza, you could let us know which chapter you are in. We are able to engage because we are usually we network with the other chapters within Africa. We are able to contact them and maybe find out if they have a similar, they are running this program in their local chapter. But one thing maybe I would also let the students know who are in attendance, make use of the website, the ISACA website that Kevin has shown you. There are also other various and categories of scholarships that are available, and also opportunities to be able to volunteer, whether it's locally or globally. So this one increases your visibility within the ISACA community. So just make sure you're using it, you're using the Engage platform to be able to increase your visibility. If there are opportunities to volunteer, kindly just make sure you are signing up and you're engaging with the leaders there. Okay, maybe Preston, you could answer about the question of certification.
Yeah, I think on certification the question was on part of how the certifications or what they do.
Do we provide training materials?
Oh yeah, ISACA has training materials which you can get, and as a member you get it at a discounted price, or you can get the online one.
Okay. Let me just check if there are more questions. So there's one, what are some of the requirements just to help us get ready, e.g. any letter from school? That is from Daniel Odhiambo. Maybe Faith, this will be directed to you.
The question is, kindly just rephrase it.
What are some of the requirements just to help us get ready early? So I think it's requirements with regards to the scholarship. So an example that he has given is, do you require any letter from school?
Yes, so when you apply for the scholarship, you will have the requirements. What is required will be put on the criteria, but of course they would want you to be verified whether actually you are a student in the school that you've stated that you are in. Yes, of course there is some verification documents that they will ask you to be able to provide. Someone asked whether if you're taking a diploma, whether you're liable to. Yes. So all tertiary education institutions, whether you're doing your diploma, your degree, or your master's, you're liable to be able to apply for a scholarship.
Okay.
Okay, you're still following up on the materials. So one of the when you're a student member for ISACA, there are a lot of benefits that are available to you. And when you go to the website, you're able to see all the free materials and all the paid materials. And when you're a student, you're able to get a lot of free resources, and also you get a lot of discounts for the paid materials.
Okay, any more questions? I think 1 minute, we can be able to, just 1 minute so that you can be able to just ask any questions that you may have before we close.
Before we close, maybe through the blessings of the CEO, we've seen some of the students who have been very active throughout the webinar, and I don't know whether in the spirit of issuing free student codes, the CEO would be kind enough to be able to issue a few to some of the students who have been very active and engaged through all the sessions since we started.
I think if we can identify them, and the codes we have, we can allocate to them.
Yes. So
identify them, and then we allocate them codes, and they must utilize those codes as fast as we give them, because if they delay, then we give it to another group.
Exactly. So we have noted the students who have been very active and the students who have been engaging throughout the conversations, throughout our keynote speaker, our guest speakers. And yeah, you will be contacted. Kevin is our student leader. Yeah, and yes, it's a good opportunity for you. And we encourage you to be able to follow ISACA on their social media, and also be able to see other activities that you're doing with students, and keep on engaging.
I think there's a question from Juma Emiri. Can a student get a free course or certificate, or it's only a discount one only?
Sorry, what's the question?
So can a student get a free course or certificate, or it's only a discount one only? I think
maybe
okay.
That's with. Yeah. So like we mentioned, when you're a ISACA member, as a student member, there are various opportunities that you see. We have scholarships with different categories. The one that I've just mentioned is for the university or your tertiary education fund. But if you keep following the conversation, you'll find many other opportunities that come in. We usually actually have like boot camps whereby we have volunteer trainers like take you through a cybersecurity course where you pay nothing, and then everything is funded, and then you are able to provide just the exam fee. So just make sure you're able to engage and follow the various platforms that ISACA local and ISACA will always show up.
Okay.
Can I add one more thing? What
Yes.
Peter said.
Yes.
Also, from my time when I've been at ISACA, what I've realized is, okay, if you really want to get something that you really don't want to spend your own money from, you would need to really be active on what you do. For example, there's a time when ISACA offered something called Member Get a Member Referral Program. So for every member, you are being told you can, for any member you refer, and then you get they register, and you get like $5 or something like that. So you get something like a gift card, and then you can use it even for payment for any of the other things. For example, if it's a course or if it's a membership renewal or something like that. So what you really need to understand within the chapter or within ISACA is anything that you really need, you can get for free. You'll have to work for it. If it's a scholarship, you have to apply. You have to apply well. If it's something, if it's volunteering, if you're getting an appreciation, you should really have really gone out and done that volunteering. So that is what I can tell you with regards to ISACA and how how anything that is free, you get it. Same case with the student codes too.
So make sure you're getting the contacts that have been shared. Preston has said you use which number? The one for 518 or the 357, Preston? But at the same time, you have the email address. So if you are interested in forming a student group, kindly use the contacts that have been showing on the screen. Also, a team will be behind you to make sure that you successfully form a student group in your university. And then, yes, so make sure you're using these opportunities. And like Mercy started by saying, I think everyone else here who is advanced in their career, they have moved, they have been in 5-10 years. Right now, an opportunity like this, if it came to them when they're in the university, I think it's a huge milestone for you. And I am really wishing you the best, and I hope you're able to grab this and seek opportunities to volunteer, grow your career, start looking at those certifications. As the students who are doing accounting are doing their CPAs, you are here growing your cybersecurity course, you're growing your artificial intelligence certification. So make sure you're taking these opportunities, because within the next 3-4 years, as you're finalizing your education and you're getting to be a junior professional, you'll really see the difference that it is going to make for you in your career. So I would urge you to make sure you're grabbing these opportunities, you're signing up for those courses, and you're taking the advantages of the network that you'll grow in this as you engage with ISACA leaders and other ISACA professionals to be able to grow your career. Thank you so much, and over to you, the host.
Yeah. Okay, no, let me just add, I've seen a chat by the VP, Mercy Omolo, and based on what Kevin was saying, where Mercy says that actually last year, the top person who won the referral worldwide was a student member, and she got a lifetime membership of ISACA. It's exactly what Kevin was saying. Be involved, and so you can get most of these things.
Okay, thank you, Preston. So I think at this point, I'd like to thank everyone for joining this webinar. Thank you for being able to stay the whole time. I know we extended by 30 minutes, but we've got a lot of information to be able to give to you guys, and so we've made sure that all of it has been delivered. I hope you've been able to get insight. And you can be able to reach out if you have any ideas that we can be able to add as part of the what we're trying to offer the students, even if it's innovative things that we can be able to do together, or even conferences that we can be able to do together. Please highlight them so that we can work to make sure that we can be able to redefine the cybersecurity in the industry. I'd like to thank Preston Odera, the CEO for ISACA Kenya chapter, for being able to give us this opportunity to be able to have a meeting with you guys and be able to just showcase what we can be able to offer. I'd like to thank Anthony Muyuro, the president of ISACA Kenya, Mercy Omolo, the vice president for ISACA Kenya, and also for her being able to give us insight into ISACA, and also being able to give us highlights of being part of the ISACA membership. Then I'd like to also thank Stewart Samkange from LinkedIn for being able to actually help us know how to use the LinkedIn platform, to be able to know how to use it, and how businesses actually use the platform to be able to get people that they hire. So this is actually a tool that you should be able to embrace and use it to be able to grow your journey within the business world. I'd also like to thank Lillian Gala from Diamond Trust Bank. She was able to highlight the growth, what you need to be able to grow within the industry. different things that you need to be able to do, skills that you need to have, you need to continuously learn so that you can be able to differentiate yourself from others. I'd also like to thank Kevin Tuei from the Students Membership for being able to give us insights into how to become a member, and also for Faith Wawira, our Director at Special Programs, for being able to highlight how scholarships within Wanitech can be able to help us to advance our career. Thank you all for being able to join this session. I hope when we have the future sessions, you'll be able to join. You can also be able to help us plan, and we can be able to grow together. Thank you, everyone, and have a good day.
Barbara, one thing, did we ever give maybe one of the students from the farthest who could have come from the farthest, not Kenya, anywhere, just a chance to say one or two before you close it?
Yes, I think there was one.
I saw one from
Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe. Yes, I think it was.
I think give one of the students or whoever who has joined from FAT just to say one or two.
Okay, let me just narrow down to that. Yes, on Nanyasha.
Hamilton, yes. Hamilton, allow Hamilton to talk.
Okay. Hamilton can talk.
Hello, how are you?
Thank you, brother.
Thank you very much. The session was very helpful.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. We had somebody else, Mutema. Are you able to speak? There's Taonansha Mutema. Yes.
I'm not seeing her. I'm not seeing the person.
Okay.
I'm seeing.
Okay.
Maybe Daniel can speak.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Daniel. We can hear you.
Yes. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Actually, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much for the opportunity once again. I'm Daniel Odhiambo from University of Kabianga, and I just saw this thing. Let me say, just yesterday. It was around yesterday. I went through my emails and I was looking. It was something that I got from one of my lecturers, and he told me about ISACA, and we just talked about it slightly. Then I went and do a lot of research about it. I'd even created an account just to see some jobs and what's going on. So I was just worried, how will I really join the ISACA? But I saw the meeting which was to come up today by 11. Then I said, I think this was could be the best opportunity for me to see what is happening. And really it has helped me. And I hope that the way it has helped me has also helped other students like my brother there, Hamilton from Zimbabwe, and even any other students who joined this meeting. I really thank you, the team, and we really, it's much thank that we can't even elaborate how or the boundaries, but we are really thankful for the opportunity that you've given us. On behalf of all students that have attended, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. That was well appreciated. Anything else from the panel before we close?
So the session is also live, is also going to be on our YouTube channel, the ISACA Kenya chapter YouTube channel. So you can always check it back and share with your friends who might not have attended the session.
Okay. I think that is it for now. Thank you all. And I hope you have a good day. Thank you and bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.